radio. Q4.org.
We are back.
Q4.com. So, .net, all of that. Q4. What is the Apple Music? All the streaming services. Q4 Radio. Q4.org. You can go there and find Q4 Radio broadcast all across the online atmosphere. So we are all the way live. Of course, this is Bro Diallo, and I'm back with a Q4 OG.
OG, you know what I'm saying?
Q4 OG.
It's good to
You want to introduce yourself, Brother Biddle?
Hey, man, I'm Brother Biddle. You know, once upon a time ago, we had a show called 0 to 100 Radio on Q4 Radio. I went by the moniker as Black Star and the Underground King. It was a great time. I'm glad to be back with the brother from the South Side. We about to do what we do, man. You know, talk about that politics. You're leaving me hanging.
Oh, sorry, my bad. It's been a long, man. You're gonna have to. My social cues are all the way off, man. I don't know how to act around other people. I've been in isolation. I don't know if you heard.
You probably been taking these quarantine measures, safety
measures. Mad real serious. Mad real world. Yes.
Yeah.
I'm COVID negative. Over 50% of the U.S. population just last summer tested positive.
I never tested positive.
I never tested positive either.
Yeah.
We glove up. I mean, mask up.
We do.
I ain't positive on none of that stuff. I'm negative across the board. Yeah. So I've been mad real with it. And even here, you know what this is? You don't even know. You didn't even notice it, did you?
Humidifier?
No. This is a miniature. This is a miniature air purifier.
Hey, look at
with
you.
a full HEPA filter.
That's dope.
UV.
Where you get that from?
My wife gave it to me. That's where I get everything, man.
The black women always making us
better,
man.
So I even have a miniature air purifier. If the humming is bothering y'all, I'll put it on the lower setting. But, you know, I'm trying to live.
Shout out to Dr. Mingo, man.
Yeah. And so, you know, when Ice-T said at the end of Colors back in 88, I want y'all to live. I took that to heart. I was like, I'm going to try to live as long as I can, because Ice-T would be upset if I didn't.
Ice-T said it?
Yes, y'all, please stop, because I want y'all to live. I'm like, wow, somebody like Ice-T values my life.
Something must be happening.
Made me take my life mad serious. I was, like 6 years old? I was a baby, but...
You know what? I don't even remember that movie. I know it's like the quintessential hip-hop movie, but I was like 5 or 6 when it came out. So I don't necessarily remember the movie. I remember elements of it.
Do you remember the soundtrack? Forget the movie.
What was on the sound? If you tell me a song,
Colors.
I remember.
Colors. I Am a Night, and Butcher Shop by Coogee Rap. Let's have some fun in the Butcher Shop. Yeah. Mad World, one of my favorite hip hop songs of all time. 783. Go to Google and look up Mad World. It's a mad world, whether you're poor or rich, because you're living with the problems that you're trying to ditch.
My nigga spitting.
Yeah, yo, check it out. So, anyway, have we started the show yet? Yeah. Anyway, Q4 listeners, if you're listening online, or if you're listening to the Q4 radio station, if you're watching us on YouTube, please go to Politics and BS, Politics SBS with the X, and subscribe. We only have 2 subscribers, which is me and you.
Moving up.
Right.
We got like 5 or 6.
Word?
Yeah.
Your wife, my wife. Who else? Your
Somebody
son.
else?
My sons don't even follow.
Oh man, that's
yeah.
We gotta get them on board.
Yeah, so we getting there. Anyway,
this is the most complicated Wi-Fi password.
You still ain't figured it out? It's all
spaces,
lowercase.
Right? But there must be spaces in between.
Put a little eyeball there. It's no.
It only does it for.
Oh.
Yeah, man. It's not.
Oh, it just shows you.
Yeah.
You're still trying to log on. Well, big booty holes will still can survive without you while you do the radio station. You ain't got to watch the twerk videos in the middle of the broadcast.
We should do a Pan-African OnlyFans page.
How would that work?
Us in seductive poses, pause. Just
me and you or other?
All the Pan-African, or everybody in the diaspora, man.
Oh.
Yeah. Featuring me and you. But a Pan-African OnlyFans, you can raise money that way, start the revolution.
We get banked, right?
Yeah.
I don't know.
You know what I'm saying?
I don't know.
You're on that Kitty Owadu diet, so you should be straight.
I can't do
250 push-ups,
but Kitty
brother.
No, I can't do that many. I did some push-ups this morning.
One time he was doing a fast, did 800 push-ups.
Kitty, man.
I was like, wow, he must be on that gear.
And plus that
vegan HGH.
He's down in Arizona somewhere with that tropical sun that reactivates, energizes your medicine.
That's different.
Melanin. You and I have been just coming out of a Chicago
winter.
North Midwestern winter. So
winter.
you know, give me till mid-July when my melanin is re-energized, and then I'll challenge Baba Keating to a push-up contest. Baba Keating should be pretty happy though.
He should. He just got back from Africa.
Really?
He was traveling. He was doing some traveling there.
With him.
You didn't. Obviously, he did not call you.
He supposed to go.
He wanted to have fun. He didn't want to be with you, criticizing everything he doing. You know what I'm saying? Oh, brother, you got to do it this way.
All right, let's get to the list, man. I'm disappointed.
He was looking. I think he had to go visit his school. He started with some other brothers and sisters, and they started a school down there. And he was going down there to check it out.
Yeah. All right. Yeah. So I'm gonna get it. I did some push-ups and some weightlifting. You know, I'm doing the home gym thing.
Me too.
Yeah. I'm not going back. Not going back to the gym.
That's tough for me, man, because I've reached the limits of my home equipment.
What, everything? You full stacks, all the stacks.
So I got like dumbbells up to 50. I need some 55s. I got a couple kettlebells. I got a boxing bag.
I'm not trying to get brolic. I like to stay lean.
I'm not trying to get brolic either.
So
you're just a lean guy.
Yeah, it's my body habit, as they call it.
I admire you. If I ate a cupcake right now, whether it's vegan or non-vegan, it would go straight to my thighs.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, you keep up. If we gonna do OnlyFans,
you would burn it in 30 seconds.
If we gonna do OnlyFans,
that's why I'm in the jail.
No, don't do that. Don't burn. You can do waist twist or sit-ups, but please don't lose that butt. If you want to do OnlyFans or not. Biddle got back.
Hey man,
what?
So all my sisters, you start with the sisters. You want to be a part. If you think this is a good idea,
we will be curators. We're not going to be the content creators.
They don't want to see
we'll
us.
We'll be the procurers.
We're like the hosts.
The host, like
Chris Rock, when he got slapped by
the man
who
procured.
We come in, hey man, we got Miss.
With fuchsia
Miss Zimbabwe coming up.
Fur hats. I need a big diamond pinky ring and a long Cadillac.
I'm going for the Tariq Nasheed.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, okay.
My
pencil thin
my mink slide fur, you know. My Tariq Nasheed, I think he got his own boots.
And you foundational Black American, ain't you?
No.
You're not foundational?
No, I lost a friend over there.
Where you from?
Milwaukee.
Then you foundational.
No, man. I lost a friend over there, man. We go back too. He wanted to fight me.
That's what you get for hanging out with lames anyway. You should have been over here with Bro Diallo.
He was a Pan-Africanist before.
Oh, yeah.
He introduced me to Dr. John Henry Clark. And now he's the foundational Black American. A dose. And he also listens to Kevin Samuels. He has made a complete 180.
That's called the manosphere. Giving brothers with podcasts a bad name. So, okay, enough with the intro. Should we get to tonight's politics? And then we have to qualify whether or not something is qualified as politics or bullshit. You said you wanted to talk about the Chappelle tackle.
Yes. A young African-American male. That's what he seems like to me. He's brown. He's non-white.
Okay.
I don't know his racial makeup.
They could have beat him black and blue. We don't know what he looked like before security got to him.
So there was a concert, a comic festival. The Netflix is a joke comic festival last night, Hollywood Bowl. Apparently, when you go to these, when you go to the comic festivals for the bigger comedic stars,
right,
you got to put your phone up. First of all, how does that even work? First of all, you're not even taking my phone. You can put something on my bill and take my phone, but you just can't take my phone.
Freedom and liberty.
So there's not a whole lot of footage about this epic ass whooping.
Okay.
But his name,
felonious assault.
I didn't get the name yet, but the rapper's name is Trapper the Rapper.
Well, he's a household name now.
He is.
Okay.
And he rushed the stage. He must have paid for a first row seat, second row seat. That's a lot of money. He paid a lot of money to get his ass whooped on the stage.
To get his name out there.
Dave Chappelle and his crew, his security crew, beat the black off this guy, man.
That's inappropriate.
Is it?
Yes.
I take it back.
Didn't nobody beat Will Smith? I'm class conscious. I'm pretty sure.
Well, he got
that he's in the same the same tax bracket as I am. So if Will Smith didn't get beat, nobody should get beat. Oh, that music is distracting. You don't hear the music?
I do not hear the
Okay,
music.
I'm about to
but
kill
they-
the
but
music.
Sister
Anybody
Valencia
that was
says
getting
distract-
off on the music, sorry, but Sister Valencia said, turn it down. I just cut it.
They beat the mess out this brother.
Yeah, I saw the picture.
They had him strapped to the gurney
Yeah, with a dislocated
with
shoulder.
a dislocated shoulder.
It looked
like
to
an
be.
elbow,
I'm diagnosing
shoulder.
from a picture.
It was going a way that you're not supposed to
Yes,
go.
he had a dislocated.
And I'm like, why are
shoulder.
they strapping his brother up? That doesn't look helpful to his dislocated.
And
arm.
real talk, once the police detain you, they become wholly responsible for your medical care.
Right.
So if you are injured in being detained or even in the committal of a crime, that's medical neglect.
Well, he needs to file a lawsuit.
I hope he does, and I hope he wins.
Because he got the dog snot beat out of him.
Excessive. Now, if it was some pigs,
they said he had weapons. They
Did
said
he?
he had
I don't know.
weapons.
Let
They
me
said he
not
had a
speak
knife
out-
and a gun.
that's why I
allegedly.
need-
Allegedly,
Really?
he had a knife and a gun. Yes. And he made a song about Dave Chappelle previous. So they're saying that this might have been premeditated.
I'm pretty sure it was.
You know, and he post-meditated, he got his ass whooped.
Okay. But I see
So-
people, I mean, that's the most entertaining thing Chappelle has done in the last 5 years.
Apparently, he was Dave Chappelle, according to reports that I saw on the most verifiable source of information, Twitter, that Dave Chappelle is making a lot of trans jokes towards the transgender community and to the homosexual
He
community.
wasn't making jokes about the trans. There weren't even jokes. There was no punchline. He was just
riffing.
Yeah, like just talking about him. I mean, I watched the last special that he made, and
I did too.
There weren't even any real jokes.
It wasn't that
He
funny.
made one joke about trans people that I thought was actually clever.
Which one?
He said that they came after me and said, Dave, they coming after you. And he said, is that one they or many they? So he made a singular they pronoun joke that was actually a joke. But other than that, he just makes stuff up about
the canceling.
No, yeah, it was not really funny. It just seems like Dave gets universal love. He's like one of them dudes that everybody loves.
He's a goat.
So
he's a goat.
I wouldn't go that far.
You would.
I mean, have you went back and watched the old Chappelle show?
Yes.
They put it on Netflix.
Sometimes
didn't
I laugh.
age well.
Sometimes I still laugh.
It ain't as funny as you would remember.
I didn't laugh at all the skits back then, though.
See, I thought it was funny back then. Now that I watch it 20 years out, I'm like, yeah. And he bit the hell out of Richard Pryor.
Everybody bites the hell out of
Nah,
Richard Pryor.
everybody don't bite Richard Pryor. Most people that borrow from Richard Pryor, Richard Pryor literally had his own show. The whole Black President.
Yeah, that was funny.
He stole a lot from Richard.
If he's gonna steal, he's like Kobe.
Okay.
Kobe stole a lot from Jordan.
How you steal somebody?
Still in
how you
still in the fadeaway.
Wait a second. So you mean to tell me I could watch Jordan play and then go on the court and mimic him and do what he did?
Like Mike. They had a whole marketing campaign. Shoes, Gatorade, hot dogs, underwear. Be like Mike. Wear things like Mike. Dress like Mike. Dunk like Mike.
I don't know. It's Chappelle.
Kobe was a victim of propaganda. So
Kobe?
Yeah.
I don't know. I've never watched Kobe play.
He was great.
I'll take your word for it.
You never watched Kobe play?
Never watched him play.
You never watched the game? The first three-peat with Shaq?
Nope. Didn't watch
Not one game.
Nope. You know, I have seen like some dunk compilations on YouTube. That's about as much basketball as I watch. Unless my son played bitty basketball for a couple of years. I went to watch. That's the only complete game I could watch. I can't watch millionaires chase balls. It just doesn't sit well with my constitution.
So
all I'm thinking about is how much money. Not that I have to pay for. I do watch some like fighting match. Like my favorite athlete of all time is Solo.
The what?
My favorite athlete of all time is Solo. I watch Solo fight.
Who is Solo?
He's a backyard MMA fighter, like scrapyard fighter, does illegal off-grid fights, you know, in people's backyards and scrapyards.
MMA is highly exploitative.
Yeah, that's why I don't watch the commercial. And it's full of racists. I don't watch UFC and all that stuff.
Okay. Did you watch Jordan play?
No.
You didn't watch
I hated Jordan's guts as a kid.
Well, I can see.
You know, I had homies getting robbed and beat up.
That was his fault?
Yes, absolutely. He even said it himself. It was his fault and said that he would take action.
That's right. He did say that and never
did nothing because Nike said, boys, sit down.
Shops.
Huh?
He's supposed to tour the sweatshops.
Yeah, he never did
he
that
never
either.
went. Yeah.
Scumbag. You know, Jordan gave away 100% of his basketball money.
To who? To what?
He gave away to various causes and charities that he liked.
That's great.
Because he makes so much money off the shoes. He's literally just thrown away all the given away. That's good. Charity is
he
good.
also had a divorce, a very costly divorce, where he gave away a lot of bread too.
Well,
and he's helping communities.
How so?
By giving money to nonprofits and the police to keep us safe.
You couldn't even keep a straight face.
No,
you couldn't even keep a straight face saying that.
I forgot. After one of the police killings, there's been so many, and I don't mean that facetiously. Like it's been so many, but after one of them, he gave $1 million to like a violence prevention group, and $1 million to the police union.
Right.
Yeah.
Scumbag. Scum of the blood clot.
He had a stable,
right.
Balance.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But with
neutrality
under oppression puts you on the side of oppression. Any political analysis and historical analysis always show the people who are neutral benefit the people in power. The people who are neutral never benefit those. So,
I think he gave money to the problem and the solution at the same time.
Cancel.
That's pretty genius.
Right. Especially since it's all right. No, I'm not a fan. I never watched Jordan play 1 second in my life. I have watched some of his YouTube dunk compilations. Huh?
If Jordan was a communist, would you have watched him?
Yes.
Okay.
If Jordan was a communist, he would have never made it to the NBA, though.
Did you watch Stephon Marbury when he went to China?
No.
You didn't?
No. But I appreciate what he tried to do with those Starberry shoes,
he
though.
Did.
Mad respect for him.
Yeah,
I wish he did better.
No doubt.
I actually had a pair of Starberries.
Did you?
Mm-hmm. Way back.
What were the quality of them? Did
they were just as good. Yep.
Makes sense to me.
I played basketball for years. I wore Spaldings.
Mm-hmm.
I wore Adidas for a while.
I got beat up.
Yeah. So I just didn't wear Nike just off of the principalities.
I dig it.
One man boycott.
No, my mother boycotted in the 90s.
So did I.
Yeah.
She was playing ball. Shout out to UMKC. Shout out to Downstate. Right.
Shout out to Twyla Carney.
So yeah.
I had the Ewings a year after the Ewings weren't popular anymore because I couldn't get any Nikes because she was boycotting.
Yeah. I didn't wear. I never had the money, but I also didn't have the desire. So I was fortunate. And again, I know people that got robbed. I had one of my homies get robbed right in front of me.
Yeah.
And
Milwaukee was a problem. People were getting
over some goddamn shoes.
Yeah.
Starter jacket shoes.
Yeah.
Even those shirts. Remember him and what's his name? Mars Blackman. Him and Spike Lee had this whole campaign. And they had all them shirts. Dudes was getting guns stuck in their face over shirts.
KOPMDJ.
What?
Said Dave Chappelle attacker had a toy gun with a knife built within it.
Wow. That dude wanted to die.
The common denominator is Paul Mooney. Ooh, that's a good point. Because Dave Chappelle was close to Paul Mooney. Richard Pryor was close to Paul Mooney. Paul Mooney wrote, they were saying that the common denominator really is Paul Mooney. That's why Dave Chappelle,
nobody ran up.
Had some of the GOAT's residue on him. You know what I'm saying?
Whatever.
Because of Paul Mooney.
Paul Mooney actually would get up and say his highly offensive jokes, and the appropriate customary thing, if you listen to like one of his comedy albums like Race, people get up and walk out when you're somewhere that you don't want to be and hearing things you don't want to hear. You don't run up and try to end the show. You get up and walk out.
That's true.
And the same people that were praising Will Smith are now condemning this kid.
Who was praising Will Smith?
Where the blood? Whoa.
I saw a lot of condemnation, brother. I saw a lot of people disappointed.
In the community.
I saw a lot of people disappointed because they expected
there was whole rap songs
out
made
of Will Smith.
There were whole rap sisters. They were like, "It's time for insulting black women is over," and then you could never. See that. It was I
saw some of that, but I saw more people calling him a simp, saying that he's controlled by his woman, saying that he embarrassed himself in the black community. They said that he robbed Richard Williams of his night of celebration for the movie and the Williams sisters. I saw a lot of people who were really disappointed with that brother.
I saw all that.
And he didn't even knock him out.
I saw all that.
Yeah.
And come on, it was
Oh, that's what happened. So after Chappelle and his crew beat the living the Jesus out of this guy, Chris Rock comes on stage and says, "Was that Will Smith?" And everybody starts laughing.
good for
The
Chris
circle
Rock.
of life. It's all complete now.
I hate Chris Rock's guts, man.
I know you do.
I hate. We'll get to somebody I like.
One show we got to make a list of everybody, of everything, and everybody you hate.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm gonna make a list.
If I can add an addendum, I get to give my reasons for hating them. I don't hate for the sake of hating.
It was Sultan Shabazz. It was a bunch of hood rich folks embracing Will Smith's antics.
Yes.
I can't.
But what
I
I'm saying
I
now,
can't decipher if they were hood or not.
But what I'm saying is, just for those people who were attacking, and I had said initially, we're about to see a wave of people trying to run up on stage just because people mimic rich people, because that think
because they're the best
vibration. If you got to get on the same frequency, right? Will Smith is worth $80 million. So if I get
Will
on
Smith
that,
is worth 80. I think he has to be worth more than that.
You would think, but these brothers don't own nothing. We can just, he's worth, or is it 800 million?
Diallo is principle, it is hate. Brother James, you are correct. That's what I respect about him.
Oh, 350 million. Who was worth it? It's 350. Sorry.
When I first was aware of Diallo's post on social media, he was talking about me. That's what made me start reading. I said, "Oh, okay." He's challenging some of my views. That's how it got started.
Yeah.
And then I was like, when I started doing 0 to 100, I was like, this brother, he just needs to be heard. You need to be heard, man. Amplified.
I appreciate that.
You've done your thing, man. Proud of you.
I'm trying to
got
spread
a cult
the hate.
following. People love you, man.
A cult following.
You do.
I'm anti-cults though. My what do they call it? My catchphrase is cults don't cultivate.
You know what?
But I understand the context. I understand. But yeah, I'm sure we'll get to people I don't hate.
Will was getting paid $20 million per film. Chauncey Alexander.
Yeah,
Chauncey. My middle name is Alexander. Shout out to you.
He's worth 350 million. There was somebody else. I was Googling somebody else.
Disrespect the Fresh Prince of these slaps.
But I'm trying to explain how people operate.
Okay.
Will Smith is worth $350 million.
Yes.
The universe gave that to him because of his vibrational frequency, because of what he put out to the universe. He was blessed with the opportunities and blessings of $350 million.
No doubt.
So how do I get $350 million? I have to get on that same wavelength.
Yeah.
I'm on the barely $20,000 vibrational frequency. And so how do I move? By looking at people who are on the frequency I want to be on,
or you can
just channeling their energy and mimicking their behavior. That's the whole secret. You got a whole population of black people that function like that.
Yeah, it's all about
vibes.
So
Will Smith is bum rushing stages. I knew. Remember T.I. ran up on that comic?
Did he?
Yeah.
I don't remember that.
T.I. ran up on a comic too.
He's a comedian now, T.I.
Well,
he got booed off stage.
He was at a comedic open mic.
Okay.
And there was a young lady on stage.
She was talking about the allegations.
Only after he started heckling her.
I did not know they never talked about him heckling her. So he heckled her, and then she hit him with the fire.
Shot back at him, and then he got up and bum rushed her on stage. Then there was a white comic who had a bottle thrown at him.
Yeah.
He was making jokes within weeks after Will Smith and Chris. He had a bottle thrown at him.
Yeah.
And I said, when I first saw what Will Smith did, it's going to be a bunch of these enlightened
copycats.
Right. Yeah. These third eye,
no doubt,
vibrational frequency freaks. Hey, we're going to start. And so that's why. Yeah.
Diallo's followers are critical thinkers. No doubt.
Yeah.
No doubt.
I love.
He's attacking everything.
That's why I love my followers.
It's a critical thinking cult.
Right. And listen, there are things I enjoy, like Outriders. I really enjoy Outriders. Don't ask me what it is.
What is an Outrider?
You ain't about that life, son.
What is an Outrider?
I don't want to corrupt. I don't want
What is an Outrider?
You Google it. Outriders with an S. Certain things I love, but there's so many people out here giving inspiration to the community. Will Smith is out there. I don't want to get on Will Smith. Will Smith is if you need
video game?
Yes.
Oh, it's a video game.
Yeah, I'm already distracted. I can't finish the show. Now
we can play co-op.
Yeah.
Is it on Xbox?
Yes.
Let's play. I'm down.
Yeah. And it's free.
It's like Halo?
No, it's third person shooter, not first person.
So like Gears of War.
Yes. By the same production company. People can
let's do it. Epics.
Yeah.
Yeah, let's do it.
I'm Technomancer though.
Huh?
I'm Technomancer. So you can be a trickster. You can be a pyromancer. I think you like that. Fire powers.
do it.
Or you can be, what's the other guy? There's like a rock guy who uses like earth powers. He's like a tank.
I like that too. It's like
So-
Captain Planet then.
Yes.
Like everybody has a natural
Yeah. Air,
elemental power.
fire, water.
What do you have?
I use the technomancer. He uses
Gotcha.
technology.
That makes sense.
So
Who's the air guy?
that's the trickster. Or you could be I'm actually using a female technomancer. You can create your
look
own
at you.
character.
Yeah.
Skin color, eye color, hairstyle.
So you made Erica as your character?
No. She's actually quite unlike Erica. She has short hair, little petite thing. You know, Erica's over 6 feet, so my character. I don't know. There's nothing behind that. Don't read into it. It's just I just wanted a.
What else do you like? Outriders. What else? Vegan food. What else? Critical thinking.
Yes.
Veganism.
Yes.
What else? Books.
Yes.
Underground.
In fact, I need
hip-hop.
a new bookshelf because I got a bunch of books stacked off the floor, and my wife told me I got to get them off the floor. And I'm like, but the bookshelf's going to be on the floor. What's the difference?
She wants it to be in an organized fashion.
I guess. Yeah.
It's not books just thrown over the floor.
No, they're stacked on the floor like pancakes. You know,
it's like having a mattress.
It's a system that works for me.
It doesn't work for her.
Yeah. So
it doesn't matter.
Yeah, I like books.
Yeah, let's talk about it.
We
talk about some serious stuff.
I like Haitian mangoes, and I can't get them anywhere.
Haitian mangoes.
Yep. Vegan peanut butter cups. I should probably put some people in there. I'm not going to say relatives because that's low hanging fruit.
Is there any place in Chicago that makes vegan Jamaican food?
Not that I know of.
Yeah.
Even the places in Brooklyn. I used to know all the ITIL spots in Brooklyn, and they are whack now. And then, you know, the problem, people ask me about food in New York. I make up names. I never use the actual names that's on the place. So like there's my favorite place for ITIL is Cook It Down.
Cook It Down.
Yeah. And I call it Cook It Down is because they don't seem to cut any of their food. They just throw everything in the pot like a whole leaf, and they just cook it down instead of like, you know, when you use herbs, you chop up the herbs.
They don't do that.
Nah, they just throw it in there and cook it down.
A whole tomato,
a whole onion, and just cook it down.
That sounds really lazy.
You go to anybody in my family and say, "Where's Cook It Down?" They be like, "Okay, they show you," because I don't know the name of the place.
Were you vegan before you got to New York?
Yes, I became vegan in 1992.
That's right. She told me.
30 years.
What's her name again?
Who?
The good doctor from Hawaii.
Oh yeah, May.
Yeah, Dr. May said that. Yeah.
I used to couldn't.
So
eat
you never had a
swine
chopped cheese?
Yes. No. No.
Did you have a vegan chopped cheese?
No. Yuck.
What's yuck about?
I don't like chopped cheese. That's like bodega food. Oh,
I know.
I have the fingertips to chest. Listen, I may come from the hood, but the hood is not in me. I don't eat bodega food.
It's bougie revolution.
Where's my fan?
The bougie revolutionary.
The bougie hood bougie.
The bourgeoisie.
The bourgeoisie revolutionary. I didn't eat out of bodegas. You know, I would buy food from bodegas, but it had to be signed, sealed, delivered. What's that song? It had to be sealed. And I ain't hating on bodegas, but you ain't opening nothing I'm eating.
It sounds like
you been in a Brooklyn bodega?
No. But I frequent
Why you
corner
think
stores
COVID
all the time.
Huh?
I frequent corner stores all the time.
Yeah, okay.
Same thing. Same thing as bodega.
Anybody that's eating off that flat top grill in a bodega.
Sanitized.
I guess it's mad heat. Nah, I never had no chopped cheese. You know, I didn't eat bodega food. Yeah. And I couldn't eat on the subway either.
Why not?
It's gross.
Sickness?
No, it's just gross down there. One time, like my first week in New York, I was on my way to downstate. I walked down on the 2 train, Eastern Parkway, and I had a poppy seed bagel with tofu cream cheese.
Right.
And I took one bite and I had it in my mouth and I started looking around at the tracks and the tepid water and the rats and I almost threw up. And then I couldn't eat on the subway. And you get on the subway and New Yorkers are there with plates, scooping up, you know, fried rice on the subway. I couldn't. You know, West Indians eat a ton of of Asian food.
Really?
Yes, because they brought Asian workers to displace the blacks. So you know, it's like lo mein and all that. Yeah. I mean, everybody talk about jerk and all that, but you go to a real West Indian spot, half the food is
Asian.
Is
Asian
Chinese specifically, not
really?
not Korean.
I did not know that.
Yeah, it's mad Chinese food. It's mad Chinese food in here.
Google guy pans.
So
With some
you know,
curry in it.
yeah. So I'm going to put it on Will Smith for putting out the slap comedian's vibrational frequency.
Did you respect Chris Rock for not hitting them back?
I don't respect Chris Rock for
Okay,
nothing.
we know you don't.
And
like
let me
Chris
tell you
Rock.
something.
But did you?
In all my criticisms of Chris Rock, I never advocated violence against that dude. I never said put your hands on him.
Maybe
Chris Rock is the king of the coon comics. He's the one. White people, you know his how not to get your ass beat by the cops.
Yeah. Okay.
You know, police all over the country use that in their training seminars.
I did not know that.
Yes.
How did you know that?
The police. You just look at the instructors. They talk about it. They have social. There's a whole 4chan. There's a white right-wing conservative pro-police social media, and they post that all the time. Every time there's some major racist incident where the cops murder or abuse somebody, and you go to 4chan, you go to these racist websites, Getter, you go to those websites, and all over they start posting that Chris Rock thing. They do two things. They do there's a difference between black people and niggas.
Isn't there a difference?
They do that, and they post the Chris Rock how not to get your ass beat by the police, and they assert that Chris Rock, a black comedian, the premier black comedian, asserts that black people getting beat up by the police is because of our own misdeed and misbehavior, and if we would simply conduct ourselves in an appropriate manner, we had nothing to fear from the police. Every single time, Trayvon Martin, even every time there's a racist cop incident, all over white social media, they're posting that. You looking at the comments?
Power Cipher. No, son, you don't eat Brooklyn bodega.
No.
He's talking.
That's for real. That's for real New Yorkers. I'm not a New Yorker. I represent the Bronx, but I am a New Yorker.
Didn't you work at Rikers when Tupac was there?
Yes.
Did you get an autograph?
No.
I never asked you.
They wouldn't allow us. In fact, they wouldn't, because I was younger, on the younger side in my 20s, in my early 20s. They wouldn't allow the young staff to interact with him, only the elderly.
He probably
people,
influenced
like the
them
people.
to revolutionize in the jail.
We were just, everybody was shook. I was not a Tupac fan. I was a Biggie fan.
So am I.
BIGPOPPA.
No info.
For the DEA, federal agents mad because of flagrant. I don't know what that means.
I'm a Gemini. My birthday's coming up. Biggie's birthday is right next to mine.
Magical,
so we're kind of
mystical.
like kindred spirits. Yes.
Well,
yeah.
I was not a Tupac fan at that time, but when he came to the infirmary, because he was still recovering from those multiple shots. He was getting routine chest x-ray. He got a TB screening, and I was there for that. But I was actually they asked me to step out of the radiography department into the common area. They brought him in. You know who else I met? I was really excited to meet.
Who?
Flavor Flav.
You were excited to meet Flavor Flav. Why?
Wait, Flavor. This is pre-reality TV.
Pre-reality television crack Flavor Flav.
This is 911. It's a joke.
Oh, okay.
Flavor Flav.
Okay, yeah, I get that.
I was more excited to meet Flavor Flav at Rikers Island.
Not eating chicken on TV.
No, not that. No.
Bucket.
No.
It was a golden chicken
before
bucket
all that. That was before all that. This is 93, 94, 95.
I can see that. Yeah. They were big.
Like I think it was 94. 92, 90, like early 90s, he came to Rikers Island. He was incarcerated in Rikers Island, and I met Flavor Flav. Sure,
all the premier black men incarcerated in Rikers Island.
Yeah. Everybody go through Rikers
for processing.
If you're detained for more than 24 hours, they put you in Rikers.
Really? Wow.
You better bail out. If you get anything, you bail out. Get your cousin, call your baby mama.
Put the house.
Just when they take you to the detention, when they take you to the station,
central
bail out from booking. Bail out from there.
You don't want to go to Rikers.
Real talk. It's a joke. And over almost 90% of the corrections officers at Rikers are black. And they are sadistic.
I bet.
Like turning on high pressure hoses of people in their cells.
I bet.
And stuff like that. They are mad sadistic.
Mr. Charlie's.
Right.
Mr. Charlie's.
Yeah. And the wardens, all of them black.
Yeah.
I was shocked.
I bet. I'm sure. I watched Oz, so I'm very hip.
Yeah, the black officers are just as the black COs are COs. Black cops are cops.
You know who's a CO?
Huh?
Rick Ross.
I don't believe that.
He was.
He said
a correctional officer.
Why you gotta lie?
Because he was playing.
Rick.
He was playing his character, man. But he was a correctional officer.
So he wasn't selling crack cocaine?
He could have been. I don't know.
I'd rather him be.
He was a correctional officer.
Okay.
He had a picture. He had the whole uniform on. I
saw that. Ain't nobody
pre-beard, so he looks crazy. But yeah, he was a correctional officer. But he was able to cosplay as a notorious drug kingpin, drug lord.
I hate Rick Ross. Both
The
of
real,
them. Both
the real
of
or the
them.
fake?
Both of them. I mean, why did he get out of prison? Rick Ross get out of prison and go on a national tour, and black people treating him like a hero
This
or
happened?
a folk hero?
I
Yes.
don't remember this.
He was showing up everywhere, and he was getting interviews, and everybody was in favorable articles like he was Robin Hood. I'm like, this dude was literally a CIA asset distributing a poisonous products to his own people.
Hey man, you got to get paid, brother. These Cadillacs
He ain't
ain't gonna
even paid no more.
by themselves, huh?
He got paid, and what did he do? He became like a slumlord.
Did he?
Yeah, that's where he got the name Freeway from. He owned all this property up and down the interstate.
Have you ever watched Snowfall, the TV show?
No.
That's it's a depiction of his life.
No.
Okay.
Oh, that's Rick Ross.
That's supposed to be Rick Ross.
I don't understand the community's affinity or love for
Gangsters.
Gangsters.
That's an American thing.
I hate gangsters, but we ain't American.
We are.
You just said you're not
foundationally, we are natives to this land.
Okay.
We were here before the natives, brother.
I hate gangsters and I hate gangsterism. Let's talk about something I don't.
Who's here, man? What don't you hate?
Abortion.
Are you on board with the killing of black babies?
No.
This is what the alpha males are saying.
I fully support abortion, and I don't even like saying pro-choice and pro-life.
Yeah, those are labels that don't really fit.
I say pro-abortion.
Pro-abortion.
I support abortion.
Okay.
I support a woman's right to choose.
Okay.
And I think it's an extreme tragedy. And when in prep, I went to look. Of course, I looked up the history of Roe v. Wade.
Yeah.
Roe v. Wade, it's only been around less than 50 years.
Really?
Yeah.
That's right.
73.
1970. Yeah.
And the Republicans are theocrats.
Okay.
And they're not going to stop at abortion.
No, they're going to keep going.
They're going to turn this into literally a Christian theocracy. Yes. And you think, well, I'm not a woman, so I don't get an abortion. It don't bother me. I'm not gay or LGBTQAI, so I don't have to worry about the Don't Say Gay bill. I don't have to worry about gay marriage.
You're starting here, and they're going to continue this. But since black people are overly religious, we love Jesus. Isn't that a great thing? It just becomes a more Christian theocratic nation.
I actually asked
Christianity has been good to us.
Christianity's, I asked people, if they would want to live in a theocracy. Black people love Jesus, but they suck at Christianity. They don't know shit about it. They don't know a goddamn thing about what the Bible demands or requires of them. So even though they love Jesus, I've never met a Christ-like black Christian. Have you?
Yeah, I have.
Name them.
My parents.
They were Christ-like.
Yes.
Did they eat shellfish?
Yes.
Okay.
That's the Old
did
Testament,
they murder?
Brother.
No.
We're not talking about the old book.
What did Jesus say about the Old Testament?
What did he say?
Jesus didn't come to cancel out the Old Testament. Jesus changed one thing about Christianity. Only one thing. He only took out one thing from the Bible or from the Old Testament that he replaced.
Okay.
And what was that? Blood sacrifice, burnt offerings. Jesus was the final blood sacrifice. He thought
that was too extreme.
Yes, and that's it.
We need to
that
change
is
that.
it. That's it. Everything else in the Old Testament is still valid.
I've seen people love their neighbor, turn the other cheek,
that,
not throw rocks
that ain't,
because
it
they live in glass houses.
God, you have to keep all of God's, keep all of my commandments.
But there's some leeway. We all fall short of the goal. That's why we repent, brother.
Right, but in a theocracy, that's within a personal religion. Okay. In a secular society.
Okay.
In a secular society, you can live according to your own convictions, which is what it was initially set up in separation of church and state. So I can't force you to live according to my religious convictions. And I don't even have to force myself. But under a theocracy is when the state takes over the enforcement of religion. So there is no more, would you go to Saudi Arabia? You can't walk down the street in Saudi Arabia. It's like, hijab, no hijab. You can't do that in Iran.
Right.
You can't do that. You know what? A lot of
When the Republicans tell these young ladies that they can't get any more BBLs, it's going to be a problem. And we might see a revolution.
Oh, not just BBLs.
No more Birkin bags.
Tattoos.
Okay.
And women aren't allowed to preach the word. And you can lawfully murder your children for simple disobedience.
Well,
everybody got mad at what's that? Kirk Franklin when he was cussing out his son.
Man, did you listen to that?
Yeah,
he cussed the shit out of that guy.
I was rehearsing it in the mirror when my son tests me. I just couldn't get it. I just couldn't.
Like Kirk Franklin
I tried
channeled
to.
Tupac and hit him up and just obliterated his son.
You know what surprised me though? So many people was like, this is so wrong. This is so inappropriate. This is so abusive. And I'm like, how the blood clot you follow a religion that allows you to kill your own kids? But you bugging out over cussing. What? Don't you want a Bible battle? Bring your Bible next week, and I'm gonna bring my Bible.
There's some things that are literal, some things that are figurative.
Nope,
come on, man.
That right? What you just said. The Bible is the word of God.
Yes, the
infallible word of God.
But we know
there are no suggestions in the Bible.
We know there's a council.
There are laws. There are commandments. There are protocols.
Right.
There are no suggestions in the Bible. There's nowhere God said, if you want to do this, do it. But if not, it's okay too. Nowhere. There's mad contradictions in the Bible where God told you to do one thing and told you to do another. But that's a whole nother discussion.
Before we get back to the conversation, do you believe that Jesus was a revolutionary?
No. Jesus was.
He wasn't against the state?
No, he wasn't.
He wasn't challenging the emperor?
Nope.
The Caesar?
Nope. He was not. Did Jesus say take up?
You have no love for Jesus, brother.
In the Quranic position, in the Quranic mythology, it's all mythology, but in Quranic mythology, the Messiah was a warrior who came to cast off the yoke of Roman oppression. And the reason why Jews to this day say that Jesus was not a Messiah is because Jesus did not raise an army.
He raised an army of fishermen. He raised an army of fishermen.
Just 12.
Yeah, that's all you need.
Jesus said, Jesus said, pay your taxes. Jesus said, obey the law of the land. Jesus said, to turn the other cheek if you're struck. So Jesus was lawful. And it wasn't the government that killed Jesus.
Yeah, that's true.
It wasn't the government. It was the established clergy.
No doubt.
So Jesus was a reformist, but he was not a political reformist. He was a religious reformist. And the Roman Empire did not impose religion. The Roman Empire was basically like, you can believe what you want to believe, but you better pay your taxes.
Yeah. We still do that.
Right.
Yeah.
You live if you live up under imperial rules, you follow the imperial governor and you bring
alive
and you pay your taxes. You could worship anything you wanted under Roman. It was quite progressive in that time.
Yeah. So you were saying he was a reformist.
Jesus was he wasn't a social reform. He was a religious reformer. And it was the religious, according to the mythology, because Jesus is a fictional character.
Oh my God.
So Lord, remember when the Spider-Man movies came out and Spider-Man was shooting webs from his arms?
It was awesome.
Instead of building web shooters?
Yeah, that was awesome.
That's what kind of debate we're having right now. Did Spider-Man actually biologically produce? Is it bio web or is it synthetic web?
I like the bio webs.
I hated that. I wanted to.
If he's a spider, why doesn't he have all the powers of a spider? Why am I a spider building web fluid?
Now
I'm not really a spider.
We can't.
I'm not really a spider. I'm quasi Spider-Man.
We're going to
diet Spider-Man.
You know what we have to do?
What?
Because the prophet who wrote the holy book, Stanley, is dead. We have to form two different factions, and then your faction gets some machetes. My faction gets some machetes, and whoever kills the most,
whoever stands.
That's why.
That's
why we are Protestant Christian instead of Eastern Orthodox or Catholic, because whoever killed the most was right.
Hey.
Every religion, whatever religion you believe, where you came up, that religion killed the most people. Just say your religion that you came up in, not the one you converted to as an adult. If you was raised Christian, you was raised in a place where the Christians did the most killing. If you was raised Muslim, you either live in a place where the Muslims did the most killing, or your parents converted from the religion that did the most killing. Hindus too, because I like, how black people like to. I'm not. I'm Hindu. I'm Buddhist. I'm Buddhist. Hitting on gong. Buddhists are bloodthirsty. Hindus are racist and bloodthirsty. Buddhists are racist and bloodthirsty. They have a caste system that is just as bad as any racial hierarchy you find in the West. So your Buddhist religion, your Eastern mystical religion is garbage too.
When you come back for family get-togethers, what does your family do? They embrace you?
Yeah.
Do they embrace you?
My people
do
love
they
me
shun you?
because I'm a real G. I'm a real dude. I keep
they
it
say,
real.
"Oh, don't talk to Diallo, the Jesus hater," or do they love you?
Oh, well, my grandmother, who just died last year,
rest in peace,
Grandma Sonetta, said that
rest in peace.
I was baptized.
Yes.
At Covenant Memorial Baptist Church at 12 years old.
Great.
I got up and told my testimony. I told the congregation that I was a sinner and I wanted Jesus Christ to be my Lord and Savior, and I accepted him into my heart. I took 12 weeks.
That sounds wonderful.
Of study, and I took time of study and fasting, and I was baptized by Bowie, Pastor
Bowie,
who's also deceased. Nope, not for him. He was robbing poor people.
Rest in pieces.
Selling myths, selling real estate in heaven that black people couldn't collect until they died. Okay, yeah.
Was his car commiserate to the size of his church?
No, the car was bigger than the church and cost more than the church. His car note was more expensive than the church rent. But he had a church fund though. He never got around to building that.
Everybody got a church fund.
But what?
We need a church fund.
So my grandmother,
Pan-African church fund.
According to my grandmother, Memorial Baptist Faith.
Okay.
Covenant Memorial. I can't depart from grace. Once you come under grace, there's nothing you can do to break it.
You're lucky.
So I'm going to heaven no matter what.
Ain't that something?
Is according to the sect of Protestant Christianity.
You consider yourself blessed.
Well, I've been trying to figure out
Jesus.
how I could unbaptize myself, but there's no way to God
is. I renounce my throne. I renounce my throne.
Can't do it. So they're gonna have to listen to me in hell and be like, this wasn't supposed to be real. How did we get here? We wasn't supposed to be here.
What was the table flipping about for Jesus?
Oh, the money changers. Because of the money changers in the temple. That was more religion. That wasn't against the state. So he wasn't against the money changers. So you're saying he
wasn't political. He was a religious reformer /
revolutionary. He was a religious,
political.
According to the history, see, you got the mythology of Jesus, you have the history of Jesus, and then you have the what do you mean the I don't know, the canon of Jesus,
the swagger of Jesus.
Yeah. So and so I kind of jumped between those, but Jesus was not a revolutionary, and I am on tape saying that Jesus was a revolutionary because I was speaking to some. I was called out to speak to a group of Christian educators.
Why?
Because they
know you?
They had a paid. There was actually a retreat, and they had various speakers come to speak at the retreat, and so
they wanted the extreme.
The organizer of the event was a listener to the show.
Okay,
and she said, "Would you come out and speak on education?"
How did that go?
I lied and said Jesus was a revolutionary.
Why'd you lie?
Because I wanted those teachers to radicalize their students.
Okay. So you went against Jesus's wishes of lying to radicalize the students.
Yeah, but it's in context.
You curated your message to be effective.
In the context. Yeah. In the context, it wasn't actually a lie in the context that I built it up. But
you basically curated the message to try to revolutionize, radicalize the people that were listening. I respect it. That's what Garvey did. Look at you.
Yeah.
In the same vein of Marcus Garvey.
I think Garvey was a true Christian and capitalist. He didn't know no better.
They were figuring out the best they could.
Yeah. But I think if he was here today, he'd be a vegan atheist.
No. I saw Garvey.
Revolutionary scientific socialist.
Garvey liked meat, brother.
Yo,
Garvey liked meat, brother. Oxtails.
Let me tell you something. Garvey was from Jamaica.
Yes.
He was at turn of the last century Jamaica. Wasn't a lot of meat to be had.
Well, then he came here.
Yeah.
To the foundational Black utopia.
But yeah, I think that people need to fight.
So is the timing, curious? Like
for abortion.
Yeah, it's midterms coming up. You're trying to drum up bases, fundraise. Like,
Yeah, but I think
isn't this political theater, Brother Diallo?
no, I don't think it's political theater.
Okay.
Not at all. I think that there is a very powerful sect in the United States. There's a book by called Christian American Fascist.
Okay.
The United States, if you look at every empire as it starts to collapse, empires can fall to the left or to the right.
Right.
They never stay the same, the status quo.
No
So
doubt.
as the US empire is eroding, you have a lot of white people who felt that their trajectory was to rule the world for all time. And as they're losing power on the global stage, they are saying, well, white people are going through what is called an existential crisis.
Gotcha.
So white folks, there are some population of white people saying we need to join the world and become, open up,
Okay.
or more leftist progressive. But the larger population of white people in the United States want to become more rigid. So fascism, this is fascism.
This is fascism.
Basically.
Got it. Why do they always start at women's bodies?
Actually, this is the follow-up. They actually started with the economic reforms. They've started with eroding the social safety net. This has been going on since 1980. This is the Reagan Revolution.
This is the Reagan Revolution.
So they're just now getting to Roe v. Wade. They've been doing this for half a century.
We've kicked all the other asses.
Right. So
now it's time for you.
Right. And it's not even so much because women are property. And so white people,
we don't think that.
Right.
He's just saying, Junior. I'm just
women are if according to the Bible, this is a Christian nation, as you said.
It is. It was founded on Christianity.
When God said not to covet, right? Look at the 10 Commandments. He lists women along with property.
We got to get Jackie on to hash this out. She stands on the revolutionary side of Jesus.
There was no revolutionary.
You know who Jackie is?
Who's Jackie?
He says we got to get Jackie on. I'm assuming that you know who this Jackie is.
Yeah, here's the problem with religion again. Because it's non-scientific, we can't debate scientific facts. We can debate gravity.
Right.
But so it's all make-believe. So she can say I'm a Christian revolutionary. She might even be able to find a Bible that says it.
James Thompson is smart. He said Biddle's a setup man. I am. I'm the point guard. Diallo's Beyonce. He's the Pan-African Beyonce, man. I'm just, so I'm just Michelle and Kelly, both is in the back doing my thing.
Where's the
okay, why you're looking for this?
Women are listed.
Talking about Roe v. Wade.
Oh, yeah.
So you don't think it's political theater?
No, I think
this is a
they're not doing this.
A continued eroding of rights
of an agenda
fascism.
of to turn the United States into a fascist white nationalist theocracy.
Gotcha.
Fascist white nationalist theocracy. And the reason they're doing this is because they think this is the only way to preserve the American empire.
Right.
So this is a last-ditch effort to preserve the U.S. empire.
Horizon for them.
And every vulnerable population, one of the key characteristics of fascism is scapegoating. Mm-hmm. So white men are like, I was supposed to be the most prominent man. I am God manifest in flesh on the earth. So if I'm strung out on meth,
it's the
and I'm deeply in debt,
it's the fault of the vagina.
It's the fault of women.
Yes.
It's the fault of
blacks,
gays, of
immigrants,
blacks, of
gays,
immigrants,
transgender people, anyone that's
not what they're doing.
It's your fault.
But I've said
unions,
I try to teach white people listening. Let me tell you, white folks, there's only one threat to white people on planet Earth, and that is not just it's the white elites. And if you look at right wingers, they will point the finger at everything. They will even talk about the Illuminati. They'll even talk about the Jewish elites. But the very people that's strangling them economically, Elon Musk, they worship Elon Musk.
A lot of people do.
They worship Donald Trump, another billionaire.
They did before he ran for president. People love Donald Trump.
They love him now,
I just want to be clear. Black people love Donald Trump before he ran for president. Hip hop loved Donald Trump. He was in many hip hop songs, many hip hop videos. He was an honorary black man.
And he was openly racist then too.
Well,
he was openly racist then.
And
when he was in his 20s, in 1970s, back when the Hall of America was racist, he was brought out by the federal government. He did an out of court settlement for discrimination in housing when everybody was discriminated.
Who hasn't been discriminated?
Right.
In housing?
So how you so bad that you in a
You
racist
called out?
that the racist country like, man, you too
Say,
racist.
man, you doing too much, brother.
Right.
You kicking
And
out
they
babies,
settled-
brother.
They settled out of court.
Oh wow.
So
No doubt.
he didn't admit to guilt,
So it's not.
but
a
he didn't
political
prove his
football,
innocence either.
and we need to be on alert. How should people be organizing during this time? Signing petitions?
No.
Voting for
I don't know.
other progressive Democrats?
Well,
What should we be doing?
we should be organizing to subvert capitalism and global white hegemony and ending the
Okay.
empire. But
How
short
do
of
we-
that,
yeah, how do we start with
short
with
of
this?
that,
Because you're saying this is for real.
the Democrats are going to use this as a campaign
It's a run
fundraising.
rate. Oh yeah.
And Biden already said vote for pro-life politicians. The Democrats are lying when they say they defend women's rights to choose. The only reason why abortion, the access, free and open access to abortion is being threatened is because Roe v. Wade was never codified in law. It was a legal decision. It was a legal precedent, not a law. And the U.S. Congress is the only governing body that can make abortion a law and make it so that it is not under threat of litigation or violation. And if it becomes a federal law,
Right.
not a right.
So that's the issue.
Yes.
That's my issue. Since 1973-74, when they had this verdict, why haven't the Democrats codified this into law?
Because they like to have that threat.
Existential threat
So
to
that
fundraise and control people.
just like Republicans do. Republicans, if the there's a whole sector of the population that only vote Republican in order to repeal Roe v. Wade.
Mhm.
And once they repeal Roe v. Wade, they can't run on that anymore.
It's true. So
They
it's,
can't
it's,
run
so
on
it's
that.
still political theater. To a certain degree, it is political theater then.
Well,
because it's a political
the
football used to
connotation of theater
fundraise.
means that it has no real world impact.
Okay.
Like when the politicians, you got conservative politicians and all of them conservative and they're arguing about who's a true conservative. That's
Right.
theater. When they're all conservative.
Gotcha.
Oh, I'm a true conservative. I'm a true gun rights advocate. That's more theater. But when stuff has real world impact,
Gotcha.
when literally people are about to start dying, I'll just tell you one story. This is under legal. Well, abortion was legal. There was an orphanage, basically, but a children's home for children who have for parents who had lost custody of their children, parents had are deceased, and there was no. But anyway, there was a home for young girls.
Yeah,
and it was between the age of I think 8 to 15. This home. And it had like 24 girls living in that home, and it was in Queens. And I was working at St. John's Hospital, where they keep the they had a contract to provide health services for these young at-risk girls. Okay. So anyway, they brought in this girl who was 14 or 15, had severe vaginal bleeding, and what happened was she had gotten pregnant, and we never found out who the father was. She wouldn't tell,
right?
Which means led some of us to believe it was abuse, maybe an older male, and that was threatening her. But anyway, she decided, because she didn't want to tell the people, because when you become pregnant, they remove you from the home because you're considered an adult. So she wanted to stay at the house because it was safer, because it had younger girls. She didn't want to be moved up with the older girls. So anyway, she decided to go to Coney Island and ride the Cyclone roller coaster, because one of the other girls who was in the home told her, if you ride that roller coaster while you're pregnant, it'll cause an abortion.
Oh, wow. There
was another young lady who became pregnant. She was a immigrant, undocumented.
They say how many times?
No, but she did. It did. I mean, it actually worked.
Wow. That's really sad.
But they still found out she was pregnant. I think she was still expelled from the home.
Yeah,
but she almost died of excessive blood
really
loss.
Depressed now. Thank you.
It's another a young woman from an Islamic country. I'll just say from Senegal.
Okay.
Who was a non-documented in the United States.
Okay.
Strict Islamic family, so she wasn't supposed to be having any sex, premarital sex, and she got pregnant. And her boyfriend and her were very afraid because they came from
these communities that were tight
Islamic community.
Yeah.
So they decided, well, how about we do some concentrated bleach water? And you get in, you soak in some concentrated bleach water, it'll go up. But these are also young people who don't know basic anatomy. Yeah. And so that didn't work. So a couple of weeks later, they go out and procure a large amount of alcohol. They go out and they were like, well, drink a lot of alcohol. And so these are the kind of things abortion. And this is while abortion is legal. But they, because of their family, wouldn't allow them, because of their family and their religious beliefs, or because of their housing conditions.
This is why it's important to have this.
So imagine if it's illegal across the board.
Right.
Women and babies are going to die, systemic infection. And then you have things like ectopic pregnancy.
Yeah.
And that I'm not even going to describe that to you.
Yeah, we don't want that.
So it is, you are not pro women, pro child, or pro any goddamn thing.
Right.
And this is the same party that for years wanted to remove, that fought against the same party that the United States has the shortest childcare leave, paid childcare leaves. Yeah. In some countries, women get 6 years of paid childcare. Yeah, fathers get 2 years. Yeah. Women in the United States get 6 weeks. Standard. The average is 6 weeks. Right. Some women get less than that after giving birth. They say that when you have a dog with puppies, you don't remove the puppies from the mother for 8 weeks.
Right.
So women get less time with their newborn baby. The same party that fights against extending that is the same party that's for women. The same party that fights against universal health care for children. That cut the housing vouchers, food vouchers. No, not both. Nope.
Universal health care.
Nope. Not both parties. Not equally.
Not equally.
Yeah. But universal health care is different than SNAP benefits.
Right.
And WIC, women, infants, and children. So they don't give a damn about children. It is a power play. It is also this belief that white people believe that their numeric majority is being threatened. And they literally want to turn white women into breeding stock.
Lord help us.
And if you are anti-abortion, you literally believe women are little more than breeding stock. Because if your logic is to protect children, you cannot find any scientifically sound study that demonstrates outlawing abortion protects children or leads to healthier outcomes for children. You can't find it anywhere. And if you believe abortion is murder, go look at basic anatomy and physiology. And the number one prevention abortion, the number one way to prevent abortion is comprehensive sex education and comprehensive access and full and free and open access to contraception. That's the number one way to stop abortion. So if you were truly anti-abortion, you would be supporting comprehensive sex education for starting with minors.
Right.
Because that people become sexually active from the moment people have the ability to reproduce, and making contraception education and contraceptions themselves available.
But they're going to come after contraception after this.
Right. Oh, they already have it in that original law. Yes. So anybody that says I'm against abortion is only reason you would be against abortion because none of the claims about family, children, saving lives, and one more thing, especially you religious nuts, 25% of all pregnancies end in abortion. Natural abortion or miscarriages. God is the number one abortion provider in the world. And we ain't gonna count the babies he killed in Egypt, or count the babies he drowned, or count the babies he rained fire and brimstone, the pregnant women in Sodom and Gomorrah. We're not gonna count the babies he killed in the past.
Right.
We're gonna say right now, today in modern times.
That's so nice of you. I just want you to know. That's
because
so
if life is God's will, and God allows you to get pregnant, and then God causes you, God's will, that you have a miscarriage after your pregnancy.
What I don't understand fundamentally about this fight is that the Democrats have the House, they have Congress.
No, they don't. That's a myth.
They don't have the Senate. They have majorities in the House and the Senate. They got
two senators that caucus with the Republicans. So they got two dinos, Democrats in name only.
We need more Democrats.
Under Jimmy Carter, they had a supermajority.
Why didn't they do it then?
Because they use it as a fundraising tool. Just like, remember the Voting Rights Act?
Yes.
They never codified that. So every election cycle, your voting rights are in trouble. Vote for us. So they like to use certain legislation. So
to gin up interest in the populace.
Exactly.
But why doesn't the populace demand them to do these things with the majorities that the people have given them when they put these folks into office? What's the disconnect here?
I don't think that people receive a proper civic education. People think abortion is my right. And for a long time, I blame Roe v. The Roe v. Wade advocates. I blame Planned Parenthood. They did not educate the population properly. They would go out and say abortion on demand and without apology and women's health, but they never really break it down to people, saying, yo, this is why your reproductive rights are in jeopardy. So they didn't educate people. Number one, and a lot of people got lax.
Yeah.
You know, you find a young lady in her 20s, she ain't never had to deal with this. She ain't had to burn her bra. Now, sexism, misogyny is there, but it hit different.
Right.
So, you know, you had the old women that we really bad at passing the torch. So you got people who went through struggles in the past that don't inform the young people. They just want to focus on the victories. They just want to focus on the personalities. We all know about Malcolm X. We all know about the Panthers. We don't understand the specific policy, strategies, ideologies.
When I was a kid,
because that's boring.
Yeah. When I was a kid, and they always had Black History programs, and they had the Eyes on the Prize, and all these other movies and documentaries. It's always like 1968. We achieved so much, and the fight was over.
Yep.
Like we reached the promised land.
Right back to bed.
And I always thought that was crazy, even as a kid. Like, how does that make sense? But that's the propaganda.
Yeah. So moving on from abortion, speaking of white fascist Christian nationalists.
Well, before we move on, I think that people need to demand their Congress people and demand their president.
Waste of time.
To push to codify this into law. They could people can at least do that.
Yeah, they could.
They could.
I wouldn't say don't do it.
Yeah. They should do that.
But, you know,
if every year you're going to tell me that this is the most important election, if every year you're going to, people judge me based on some of the things that I stand for. And I always say to them, they don't do anything. And you all don't ask them to do anything. Yeah. So what do you want me to do?
Yeah. And every election cycle, if we're going to do it through the electoral process, and I think that's it's more realistic, because there ain't about to be no armed insurrection revolution.
But people can at least do that.
Yes. But a lot of people don't vote, and sisters.
And what's the excuse if they don't do it? So they're telling you that this is so important, but they don't have any political power or political will to codify this into law. No, they're going to hang this around for the midterms.
All right, and it's about consequences.
Yeah.
And I say vote third party. If you haven't, there's enough. Every election cycle, there's enough people who opt out of the political process to vote in a third party candidate.
Yeah.
You know, in the last election cycle, right now we have a major
it's hard. Like,
a major congressional election. Bobby Rush is retiring.
He's retiring. Wow.
And right now, the last election cycle, we had a Green Party candidate, Scott Summers, which I voted for him because that's the name of Cyclops
from X-Men. Yeah.
So
that's what you voted. You based your vote on.
That's all.
He had the
I
same
didn't look
name
at his
X-Men
website.
character.
I don't know his platform. All I know is that he was Cyclops from the X-Men.
Oh my.
But no, really, he was a Green Party. We could have had a true progressive congressman instead of a status quo congressman. And if the people who just didn't vote at all voted for him, like Gil's, I didn't push the record button.
On what?
To record the show so we can put it on the website. I didn't push this button. Is it too late? Oh, the last hour.
The last hour.
All right. Anyway, I should do it in
video?
Q4.
Got the video.
Yeah, we got the video.
People don't really listen like that.
They don't? Don't say that.
No, I'm talking about they usually go to like YouTube and stuff and pull that.
People
still
listen to radio.
Do people from an auditory perspective still listen to? I don't do that. So
I listen to radio. Myself. I listen to NPR
my lady,
on the way over here.
She listens to that too. Yeah, she's
when
really
I work
good about
out. When I work out, I listen to Democracy Now! On the radio.
She does yoga in the morning and listens to Black Power Media. She listens to the morning show with Dr. Ball and
I'm on that show.
Brother Franklin.
I'll be on that show Friday.
Hey, look at you,
Dr. Ball.
My man.
I Dr. Ball till I fall.
Hey, he's a good brother, man. Shout out to Dr. Ball. And I mix what I like radio, Black Power Media.
He's in trouble.
What do you do?
Alpha males are on him.
Hey, man. Listen.
He's pushing the gay agenda in the Black community.
He is?
Yeah.
Oh, I saw that. Yeah, I saw that. I mean, Pan-Africans believe that everybody in the Black community is community, right?
Is what?
Everybody in the Black community, regardless of your sexual preference, regardless of all of these dividers, when we're a Pan-African, we welcome all into the global diaspora.
Dr. Bobby Rice said back in '84, we can't let them steal our gays. He said, if we don't make a place in our Black liberation struggle for the gays, then the white people are going to steal our gays and have them fight for what?
Our manifesto. How can we effectively organize around third-party candidates? How can that be done? Because I want to speak to that because in the last presidential election, the Republicans and the Republican Party and the Democratic Party in my state of Wisconsin, they both fought to kick off the Green Party candidate. So that happens every election cycle. They also don't allow them to go to debates. So they control mainstream media. So it's hard to even amplify the message of these third party candidates because the mainstream party candidates keep them off the ballot.
Well, the way to do it is district by district by district, because depending on where you are, if you're organizing politically in Missouri, a red state with a severe white majority, as opposed to organizing so if you wanted to do third party progressive, you'd have to form an alliance with the white progressive. Whereas here in Chicago, it's enough black people to form a black bloc of progressive. So it's a region by region.
Huh? Why don't we do that?
Well, the real reason we don't do that, to be honest with you, is because of political miseducation. It's miseducation because we have a lot of black leaders telling us a lot of bullshit on both sides. You got the Umar and the militants and the black nationalists say don't vote. It don't mean anything. And then you have the integrationist centrists telling us, the Obamas and the Democratic establishment telling us voting is life and death and Democrats are our only savior. So there's a lot of confusion in that. They're both wrong. The don't vote, it don't mean nothing, people are wrong, and the do vote. So what we need more than any is sensible political education. And the thing about it is the essence of propaganda is repetition. You have to continue to speak to the people, share this show,
share the show,
and you got to give people proper information and proper insights. And they just did a study. They paid some white right-wing Republicans, white people, to watch. They paid them to watch basically 8 hours of MSNBC a week. And they found that when people were exposed to more information, more sound information, it started to allow them to evolve politically. So people have what they call a political ecosystem. Like where you get, like, I talk to my brothers and I watch progressive, Black Power media and all that. So that's my political diet. You have to change like that's how true. Do you make a person more healthy? You have to start with their diet.
You're right.
And
what
then
they consume.
After their diet, you have to start with their environment. Because even if you're eating healthy, if you still going to all the same places that provoked an unhealthy lifestyle, you got to change the political media you consume, and you got to change and evolve the political circles you move in.
The biggest issue that I have with how people play politics is that they don't ask for anything. Like no high-end donor, no corporate donor, the business community, the chambers of commerce, the energy communities, when candidates come to them for their support, there's an agenda. There are asks on the table. There is no emotional whims. There isn't no, we just want to see you get there. No, if we support you, if we put our money and machine behind you, we want you to do this, this, and this. We want you to stay away from this, this, and this. But when it comes to the local grassroots, we give our votes away willingly and emotionally based on, the civil rights movement, based on our ancestors being killed and lynched and sprayed with hoses for the right to vote. All type of emotional propaganda is put and guilt is put upon the Black community, and they use fear tactics every 2 to 4 years about how the bad Republicans are going to come and take away all your rights and put you back on the plantation. And I'm exaggerating, but you know what I'm saying. And so, but there's never a solid ask. And that is not how that is not a politically mature people. That is not how, if you play this game, you have to ask for something. And then there has to be some accountability if they don't do what you say. And so what happens is that every election, we vote these people in, we don't ask for anything. Things get worse. They come back again. They tell us there's an existential threat that this is the most important election for our lives. We don't ask for anything else. It's just reactive. It's constantly reactive.
You're absolutely right, but I'm gonna tell you, it's not Black folks' fault.
Okay.
Because we do that.
Yeah.
But there's a very specific reason why we do that.
What's that?
And if you observe, everybody does that.
Yeah.
Black people are in what is called perpetual crisis. So you can't really, when we vote, there is a real threat there. You look at every single election crisis, every single, election cycle. there is a serious crisis. So we make negative requests. So a positive request is give me this grant, give me this money, give me this territory, give me this piece of legislation.
Yeah.
A negative request is stop this thing, take this away.
Right.
So black people are like, can you end the health care disparities? Can you end the police brutality? A big one for many election cycles is crime. We're under a
Public
siege.
Safety. Yeah.
So black people, it's kind of hard to say, well, I'm under siege, so stop the bombs from dropping. Like you look at Ukraine right now, where Malcolm Nance is over there fighting Captain Sabo. Woo!
He was fighting the good fight. He's like Black Rambo.
If you looked at before the USSR, before Russia invaded, people had certain types of concerns. But when you come under siege, your whole priorities change over. They had like TikTokers who were on TikTok doing little dances.
Yeah.
And then when the war started, they on TikTok making appeals for materials and support and escape routes.
Yeah.
So black people have been under perpetual crisis.
Right.
You cannot form a coherent political platform or
under
agenda
duress,
under crisis.
Yeah.
So you have
It's not a political agenda.
So
fear is not a political agenda.
Right.
Dr. Marimba Ani said fear is not a political agenda, and that is our political agenda.
Right. Yeah. But it's not our fault because who creates the crisis?
I don't think it's our fault.
Yeah, I didn't say you didn't blame it, but you described
it's frustrating because I was a local lawmaker, and I've done political organizing, union organizing, community organizing. So I've been behind the scenes. I've seen it all. I've dealt with it all. And even from the labor perspective, there were never really any serious asks, even from local union presidents and their membership. And so it's just like if all of these apparatuses, organizations, if they don't ask for anything concrete.
But here's our problem though. Black people are trying to breathe underwater.
Yeah.
Or as opposed to, let's say not breathe. Black people are trying to walk on water. So when you're on solid ground, you move a certain way, right? When you're on water, you move a different way.
Right.
And the things that will help you advance on the ground will cause you to drown in the water. And the things that will cause you to advance in the water will cause you to drown.
Right.
Black people, we function as citizens of the American state. We engage the society as citizens of the United States. We need to understand that Black people are subjects of the American empire. And if we start to organize our request, organize our relationship to the state and within the hierarchy of power
based on our context,
we don't. Jesse Jackson said, don't snatch my mic, I know, but Jesse Jackson said,
shout out to Jesse,
if you don't know where you're going, any direction will get you there.
That's true.
So we are behaving like citizens of a government instead of subjects of an empire.
That's politically
really
political prisoners.
So that's why voting could be a tool for us, but it has to be a tool within a toolbox that has several other.
That has that's an organized ideology.
Right.
Yeah.
So that's why this voting, we go through cycles of motivation to cycles of demotivation or disillusion.
Yeah.
And then the disillusion becomes like literally physical duress because of right-wing policies. And then we all rally around a Democrat just to give us relief. So
to give us some relief.
Exactly. So
were you excited about Sister Kajani becoming the Supreme Court?
No, I was literally indifferent. It was the most indifferent. It was the most irrelevant. There's a 6-3 majority. So they could have made me the Supreme Court justice. They could have made Dr. Jared Ball. They could have made the most militant, revolutionary Black man in the world a Supreme Court justice.
We got our first Black woman.
I'm not into Black first
on the Supreme Court.
I'm not into Black first.
I get it.
I'm more into white first. I'm just a different type of dude. I move different. The first white person to be not
to not be racist.
I look
at
white
Karen to not be a Karen.
Right. The first white man to use the white hyperaggression against white imperialism.
Yeah.
The first white nation to pay reparations. I'm gonna do white first. Yeah. Black first are old.
The first
white
to season their chicken properly.
Right.
To not put
now you're doing
raisins in the potato salad.
We're gonna have to cancel you stereotyping
white
folks. Haven't white people been through enough?
It is terrible.
You shouldn't be eating anybody's chicken.
Gentrified greens.
Get off the chicken.
I'm trying.
Get off.
It's tasty.
Is it though?
What are we talking about, man?
Abortion. We still.
I think we've talked about that.
But yeah. What are your thoughts on a black justice?
Most respect.
Thank
brother.
you for being here.
Most respect.
Only going up from here. We going up the rough side of the mountain.
They gave us 2 people to vote for and said this is the only 2 people you can vote for. Pick one. We do not pick our politicians. White folks pick our politicians.
We could pick our politicians. We're in a position,
especially at a local level, school board.
Right now, the president of the Democratic Party here in Chicago is Prep Winkle. Prep Winkle, I see her walking right up and down the street. She's a very accessible person, and I voted for her to be mayor. By the way,
that's considering what you guys had.
Yeah, I don't like this.
She's an effective bureaucrat. I know she's part of the machine. Has some. Dirt
That's all you
but,
can want is competence.
To be a competent bureaucrat.
Kim Fox. I'm about to vote for her again and again and again.
She's state attorney, right?
Yeah.
Milwaukee just elected their first black mayor.
Why can you bring me some white first? Y'all bring me some white first. I'm not into black first.
A week or 2 after this young brother was elected, and I know him because I ran against him when I won. I beat him.
So you better get out of town. Skip town, dog.
Like I've been quiet, but they have increased the assessments for residential homes by 18 to 20%. So some people are getting higher tax bills and higher tax assessments. What I find interesting was that I was trying to stay plugged into the debates and all of the events leading up to the election. Nobody ever talked about it. And I was upset, not because people are going to do what they do. It's just like you have to talk about the issues before you at least get them on record saying something. You can't give people a free pass, man. Like, this affects you, and then 2 weeks after, they're telling you that your property value is going up 18%, and we know that corporations and hedge firms are buying houses by the dozens. Like, they're gentrifying and pricing people out of property that they rightfully own. That is serious, and it's something that's been happening in the city of Milwaukee and other cities across the nation. And so I just thought it was laughable that none of these so-called civic groups or so-called grassroots organizations did not talk about the real issues in this city. They talked about reckless driving
and not carjacking.
Yeah, same thing. Yeah. Carjacking. That's pretty much what they talked
about.
But
that's what happens when you're in crisis mode.
Yeah, because people
so black people are in perpetual
that's a real issue that
crisis,
people are going through.
And black people are extremely reactionary when it comes to elections.
No doubt.
But at
some point we have to change.
I got 3 rules for black people when it comes to the U.S. electoral politics. You got to be cold, distant, and calculating.
No doubt.
Cold, distant, and calculating. Now I have another set of rules. What you should vote for. Number 1,
reparations.
No. But what? I don't say reparations because you got a lot of reparations or die. You got black people saying I ain't voting for Bernie because I don't get reparations.
Foundational black Americans, brother.
Which is stupid. And let me tell you how this reparation shit gets dumb as hell.
They're stepping up.
Let me tell you how this reparation shit gets dumb as hell, right?
Yeah.
You have a candidate that says I support universal health care, right?
Yeah.
You have a candidate that says I support not only the abolition of all student, or not the abolition, but the erasure of all student debt, a debt jubilee, and all public institutions should be free to citizens.
Yeah.
And the list goes on.
Yeah.
And then you say, well, what are you going to do with the reparations money? I think we should fund education. So, if you can't get there this reparation thing is another scam. I think a scam.
Yes and no, because I think that I don't agree with ADOS and foundational black Americans.
Right.
Their ideology. I don't believe those things.
But they have captured reparations.
But they have
prosperity politics.
They have politically organized to some degree around the reparations.
They stole it. No, they stole it from Cobra.
They did steal it from Cobra. The way they went about it was really nasty.
Yeah, they're
disgusting.
Talking
about the folks who were pushing this all these years and calling them irrelevant. And I was just like, wow, that's crazy. and it
And
got
then
very xenophobic.
bastardized.
It got very xenophobic and anti-black.
It was that from the start, though. It's not just
start that way.
It's not just xenophobic. It's also classist.
Is it?
Yes.
It didn't start that way. Yvette Carnell, before, she was not always like that.
Yes, she was. Yes, she
when
was.
When she did Breaking Brown, she was not like this.
Breaking Brown.
And when she was doing the show with Arami, the funky intellectual, funky academic, brother Arami, they were not. She was not. At some point, she made a.
Remember when she was talking about from coming out of Howard and saying how them broke ass people that lived around the Howard campus, how they didn't like how the Howard students didn't like them, all them poor black niggas that lived around Howard.
Oh wow!
She was always classist. That. She was always scum.
Jesus. Let's talk about this American hero,
Malcolm Nance.
First of all, this brother is the Black Rambo. He is a American author, media pundit,
U.S. intelligence agent,
former United States Navy senior chief petty officer, specializing in naval cryptology.
Yeah, he's an intelligent
smart brother.
Yeah,
and now he is taking the fight to them.
Well, he also he's married to a white woman. So
hey.
Where the white women at? They said they in Ukraine. I'm there.
He's about to upgrade. He's about to come back with a few wives, female order wives.
Captain,
you know what I'm saying?
Save a hoe. That is incredible. And here's the thing, Malcolm Nance.
He's 61.
Yeah.
Who wants a 61-year-old
I was actually
guy with a gun in
had
Ukraine?
Matt. You know, here's the thing about Malcolm Nance.
Yeah.
During the Trump administration, he was one of the top investigators, like exposing all the corruption of the Trump administration.
That's great.
And I actually had respect for him because, you know, he went line by line on the what's the Mueller report? What was that?
Yeah.
And broke it down. Mueller. And he was on Trump's ass.
Yeah.
If you go back to 2000, he he was on Trump.
Okay.
Wouldn't give Trump no room to breathe, right? From 2016 to 2020.
Geechee motivator. Carnell was grifting with Boyce Watkins from the jump.
Yes.
I don't even remember her and Boyce Watkins being together, being a unit.
Scum of the earth.
FBA, foundational buck broken.
So Malcolm Nance, I actually respected Malcolm Nance in terms of his tenacious and aggressive.
Yeah, he's aggressive. Journalist.
Yeah. And exposing the corruption of the state.
Yeah. He took it to Trump.
Right.
And now he's taking it to Ukraine.
Yeah, and that kind of actually
blazing, brother.
That actually threw me. I used to read his blog and look up what he would say because he was just calling out all the Trump corruption and calling out all the various actors and you know.
Hopefully he doesn't get hit by friendly fire by like Pat Tillman when he went to
you
Afghanistan.
Say that? I say hopefully he does. I say any U.S. imperialist that is outside of U.S. borders engaged in any type of acts of violence should get treated the same way any non-U.S. citizen coming to the United States to engage in violence would be treated.
I look forward to the movie.
I think he's a mascot.
He is.
I don't think he's seeing combat.
He's like Black Hulk Hogan. I am a real American.
So they're parading him out, and it's good PR.
Every man.
Because, and if you don't know who Malcolm Nance is a U.S. veteran that took up arms to go to Ukraine to fight the Russians. That's who Malcolm Nance is. And Malcolm Nance is skilled. His real
he's
background
he's fighting alongside neo-Nazis.
Military intelligence.
Yeah.
No, I think what he is, you know, Tokyo Rose, where there would be these figures in a conflict that they would pray. Remember Pat Tillman?
Yeah. He played for the Cardinals.
He died
because of friendly fire.
But when he went to the military, they told Pat, we want you to tour around the United States and we want you to enlist in the military like Elvis Presley did. Like they wanted Muhammad Ali to do.
Yeah.
They wanted him to dress up in military uniforms and go around as a recruitment tour.
Right.
And
like Joe DiMaggio.
Right.
Ted Williams and a host of others.
And Elvis enlisted for the Korean War. He never saw exactly. Yeah. So they're parading Malcolm Nance out. He's geared up. He's got a big knife. He's got a gun.
About Joe Louis. Joe Louis' story was that he was he was really trying to be an American. He went over there. He fought. He did the boxing exhibitions.
Yeah.
And they chased that dude about his tax debt until the day he died.
Yeah.
They didn't give him any relief for all of the sacrifices he thought that he was making in deference to this country.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Good. So anyway, he's a
Tokyo Rose.
mascot.
Hey, look at the smile on this
Yeah.
this beauty.
So every war, you know, they say I can't remember who said it, but I learned this like my freshman year in political science. Truth is the first casualty of war. So Malcolm Nance is over there in front of cameras talking about this is an existential threat. I don't think he's seeing combat. I don't think he got any smoke. This 61-year-old man with a backpack, and you know, even though he's a vet,
I'm not following that brother. I will follow. He's going first. You going first, brother. Operation Human Shield.
I ain't
Malcolm Nance.
And you know, the Nigerian government had 200 Nigerians went to their state, went to the consulate,
really,
and said, we want to go fight for the Ukrainians. Something wrong. Menticide.
Well, the foundational non-buck broken Americans, they have stated the fact that if America can give Ukraine $30 billion for aid, where is our reparations? That's political education, brother.
Is it though?
Just asking questions.
Is it
that
though?
Are slightly intelligent.
Here's the thing about reparations, which I even talked to Incobra. You know, I was a member of the National Black United Front, which was basically a sister organization of Incobra.
Yeah.
And like the national chairman before he passed away, Dr. Conrad Warwill, was also a board member of Incobra. They went, and him and Samori Grace, or Bill Grace, one of my mentors, they were the guys that went over to the UN and went to the International Court of Human Rights to make reparations for African people an international thing. And here's the thing about reparations that I don't see Black people doing. Every group that has made a request for reparations, there's two things involved with reparations: the request and the consequences. The request and the consequences. And I said this to the Incobra. They actually wanted me to be one of the chair of the local Incobra chat. Yeah, and they rescinded the request.
Did you take that as a badge of honor when they rescinded the request?
No.
Were your feelings?
I know. I just more time to play video games for me. Less time to work. Yeah. You know. and I don't believe people are like, you should be a Black leader, all this. I don't believe in self-appointed leadership.
Why not?
Huh?
Why not?
Because that's demagoguery. Anybody who appoints themselves, I'm a leader. So anybody that's like,
what if you just start,
why don't you lead it?
What if you just start doing the work? Like, you know,
I do the work.
I stay doing the work.
I stay doing the work.
You know,
yeah, I stay.
You're a leader then. You are a Black
that's
leader.
Not what. Oh my God.
You're a Black leader. If you're doing the work, you don't want to accept the fact that you're one of God's anointed and you're a Black leader.
Yeah,
you
you're right.
You don't want to.
You got that 100.
You don't want to accept
it.
You
hit the nail on the head. But anyway, there's the request.
Yeah.
And there's the consequences.
Right.
We should well be into the consequence phase
of reparations.
Yes.
Under duress, we should be thinking about the consequences of receiving more money and land.
What? No, the request is you make the request for reparation.
Yes.
If the request is not granted,
yes,
you impose consequences.
Yes.
Why aren't we in the consequence phase?
We will vote less.
Everybody
if you don't give us
understand
reparations, we will vote less.
How does that harm them?
We will consume
How
less.
does that harm those that owe us?
Less.
How does that harm us?
Supply chains, brother.
Nope.
I couldn't get nachos at the movies the other day.
The myth of read Dr. Ball's book, The Myth of Black Buying Power.
Yeah, we had him. Remember, we had him on. He talked about that.
Right. Yeah, I reminded Dr. Ball that he was our first guest.
He was.
He did not remember. He was like, who?
Dr. Ball's an important person, man.
Yeah,
he don't got time for us
out there.
Us peasants.
He's balling. But anyway,
should have showed him the picture.
There are several what you call choke points in the U.S. economy and U.S. political and in the U.S. cultural system. There are several ways that if the Black community was organized, that we could impose consequences. And you don't even need all Black people.
Right.
If you bring all Black people together and say, how many Black people support the reparation struggle? Just the Black people who claim to support the reparation struggle. If you could come to them with a proposal saying, this is what our request is. These are the consequences if our demand is felt, is it met? That's in every freaking contract and negotiation.
Right.
It's the same thing when Ice Cube had that contract with Black America. He had all these things he was asking for.
Yes. He was
No
organizing black people.
No,
Ice Cube.
Ice Cube got
You know what
my
I'm saying?
YouTube page.
You
shut
true to
down.
the game. Ice Cube shut you down.
If I could rap, man, I'd make such
You
a
wasn't
song,
true to the game.
I guess.
How did you do that? What did you say?
I don't know.
What did you say about Ice Cube?
I
He
said a
made
lot.
Friday.
You got-
First of all, he made Friday. So let's just start there.
Okay.
He made Friday, next Friday, and Friday after next.
All the Friday
Players
movies
Club. He
got-
brought Players Club.
I never
to
saw
brothers.
that movie.
You never saw Players Club, brother?
I was done with Ice Cube when he stabbed Dr. Khalid Muhammad in the back.
For research purposes, you need to watch Players
When
Club.
Dr. Khalid Muhammad, when he stabbed Dr. Khalid Muhammad in the back, metaphorically, I stopped messing with. I never met. Be honest with you, I
So
never
did
messed.
the nation. He
Real
didn't do
talk.
anything
I don't
the
mess
nation
with the
didn't do.
nation either. I don't mess
But
with the nation.
they got
either.
you off meat, at least.
I tell you, the most honorable Elijah
gotta-
Muhammad got
you
me
gotta
off
get
the
props
swine.
We got to get props when props is due, man.
It was
the
the
nation
imperial-
got you off of the
just the
swine.
swine. Just
He
the
did.
swine. And to be honest with you, chicken is worse than swine. I don't understand you people out here talking about I don't eat red meat. You know, chicken and fish are much worse than beef and pork.
How so? Because of the mercury?
Yeah, the pathogenic properties is
Why
what
does
they
it-
call it.
Why does it taste so good?
It doesn't. You know what? You know how you tell if something actually tastes good or not?
Mhm.
I want to do an experiment.
What? Oh, I know what you're going to say. Don't put the seasoning on it.
Nope, that's not what I was about to say.
That's what you used to say.
No, but
what's the new point?
walk out into a chicken coop and pick up a chicken and bite it.
That's the same as you be on the subway trying to eat your vegan burrito, seeing rats and feces in the subway. Why would I want to see
It was a
that?
poppy seed bagel.
Poppy seed bagel.
Walk to a chicken coop, pick up a live chicken
Okay.
and bite it. That's how the coyote does it.
This is
That's
This
how
is
the
what you-
hawk, the
this is
chicken
what you
hawk.
suggest?
You said it tastes good.
yes,
said chicken
fried
tastes
and
good.
died on the side with some Lawry's, brother. I'm not
Okay,
talking
before you
about
fry chicken,
a-
what do?
A big chicken,
What do they make the batter of the fried chicken out of?
flour,
Boom.
cornmeal.
Boom,
Yeah.
plant. Okay, what
Yeah.
else? And then what do you do after you put the batter on it?
We shake it in the bag. We
What's
put
in
some
the
season-
bag?
We season
What's
it.
in the
We
bag?
season it with
What's
the
in
flour.
the bag? And what's in the flour and seasoning? It's not just flour. What else is in there?
What's in there? I don't know. What's in there?
You
Delicious.
don't even know what you're eating.
Deliciousness.
Let me tell you,
That's what's in it.
everything that has anything to do with the flavor of chicken is a freaking plant. Everything.
Plants are great. I'm not anti-plant
So you don't
I'm
like how
pro-plant.
chicken tastes.
because I
Now,
like
I say,
the properties of
I
plants
love,
on them.
I love how vegetables taste. And you take me to a garden or a farm anywhere, organic farm or garden anywhere,
So you're saying
and you show me a sprout, a Brussels sprout. You show me a leaf of kale. You show me an apple right off the tree, a peach right off the tree. You
Uh-huh.
give me a basil leaf right off the plant, and I'll bite it.
Got it.
Because I like the
So-
taste. I like
so-
the taste.
so the
You
true
go get you a chicken.
the true test of liking meat
Yes.
is eating raw,
Walk into
unseasoned,
the pasture
uncooked
and
meat.
bite that
Just
cow
bite
right on the
hell
ass.
off the cow's ass and be
Bite
like,
the
oh,
cow
this
on
is
the
delicious.
ass. Bite through the hide and everything. That's how the lion does it.
What about a rare steak? Can you get away with a rare steak?
Nope.
You're-
I like
You're
vegetables.
impossible, brother.
I like vegetables, fruits, and herbs. You even give me a bean, I'll let you soak it. Because I can't eat a straight bean, but I'll let you soak the chicken. Put the chicken in some distilled water for an hour, and then take the chicken out and bite the shit out of it
Oh, man,
with
that's-
nothing
that's-
else.
that's
You
terrible.
do not like how
would throw
meat
up.
tastes.
You want me to die?
Exactly. Because that's not food for you. You
Please.
are not an
Foundational
omnivore.
Buck Broken American. That name is hilarious. Please, vegans are always trying to make vegan versions of non-vegan food.
Yes.
Which is true.
Yes.
To go back to the
What's a
black
vegan
first,
version of non-vegan food?
vegan chicken wings, vegan bacon, which is tempeh bacon, which
Right.
is not real bacon,
Okay.
vegan ribs.
Yes.
There's all type of vegan meat substitutes,
Absolutely.
and they all taste like baby diapers.
I don't
dripped in
know what
sauce
the
and
point of
herbs.
that is. What is the point of that?
You know what? I just had this thought.
Uh,
We can come right back.
you
to
don't
this.
like how meat tastes. You ain't a real.
I thought
You're
that
not a
the
real
whole-
omnivore.
I thought that the black first conversation was done after Obama. Like I just thought that if we reach the highest position in this country, any other black firsts would not mean anything anymore. I honestly thought that.
Has a black man stepped on the moon?
And I was wrong.
Has a black man stepped on the moon?
I know. We still got to get there.
Right.
That's going to be a big thing.
I mean, there's a whole list of
that's
things
going to be a big thing.
black person has done.
I just thought it would be over. Like, oh, Obama made. So whatever you doing, first black janitorial company, we don't care. We don't have a black president. But it continues on.
And we've had,
continues on.
But some people say he's not black. He's biracial. Biracial girl.
Meat eaters always trying to make their meat taste like plants.
Exactly.
It's the best of both worlds.
And can I tell you one more thing? Can I tell you one more thing?
What's up?
Meat is inherently pathogenic.
Okay.
Plants are not pathogenic.
Okay.
Meat is not human food. It's unfit for human consumption. And the humans that eat meat are not omnivores or carnivores. Are you an omnivore?
Yes.
No, you're not.
Because I don't eat raw meat.
You don't have the capacity to eat raw meat.
I know that.
It's not because
that's why we cook it.
Right. You have to cook it.
Yes.
So if you have to cook something,
for
that's not part
reasons.
of your exactly. It's not safe for you. I've taken the food safety courses in 3 states: Illinois, New York City, and Missouri. Mm-hmm. And the meat is extremely toxic and dangerous to you. Foodborne illnesses is like in the top 5 causes of disease. So meat is
all
pathogenic.
These things are true.
It's destructive to ecosystem. Mm-hmm. Humans in their relationship to meat consumption are parasites. You're not an omnivore. You're not a carnivore. You are a parasite.
As a vegan for 3 months and a vegetarian for over 23 years, that vegan versions of non-vegan food stuff is for people we date.
Yeah,
pasta with tomato.
But I don't care. I'll go buy those little baggies of vegan meat-free chicken nuggets. I don't give a damn. I don't have to prove anything to you.
Was like, Dr. Mingo, was she vegan when she met you, or did you convert her to the dark side?
I have to tell her mama, I didn't do this to your daughter. She did it to herself. Her mother said that's what her mama said. You look at you and did my baby.
You put it on her. You put it on her.
And I told
you made her a portobello burger, and it was a wrap.
We were dating in New York City, right? We were dating in New York City, and she's like, I'm going home. So she packed her bags and went to visit her mom. I'm going to go see my mama and my daddy. Mm-hmm. I said, Erica, don't go there telling them you don't eat meat. Don't go there saying none of that, because it's going to all come back on me.
No doubt.
They're going to be like, you went to New York and lost your mind.
No doubt.
So no, she was a vegetarian. She was a vegetarian. She was a vegan.
Okay.
But she was playing basketball or something, and she injured herself. And she went to the doctor or something, and they also found out that she had slight anemia. And so she told her family physician, this is when she was, before I met her. Okay. She told her family physician, well, I'm vegan or whatever. And the doctor said, you have to eat meat because you are meat. So this is a very stupid doctor, because doctors get less than
he was pro-meat.
Get less than 4 hours of nutritional training to graduate medical school.
Oh, wow.
So doctors know next to nothing about nutrition and proper diet. So anyway, she went back, and so she at that time she would eat fish and dairy. So she didn't eat chicken. When I met her, she didn't eat chicken, beef, or the swine.
Okay.
But she ate fish and dairy because the doctor said that she was harming herself by not doing so, especially since she was playing basketball and all that. And so
she looks like she got a mean post-up game.
I tell our kids all the time.
They play 1-on-1 for your heart?
No.
Like Love and Basketball?
No, that's corny. I never seen that movie.
Brother.
I don't see anything all black people are doing. I don't do.
What do you watch for date night?
I don't do nothing all black people do. I do.
Omnivores? Like, what are you watching on date night?
You know what I'm watching?
What?
What's good? What I just finished
rom-coms?
watching?
Pan-African rom-coms.
Grand Crew.
I watched Grand Crew.
That was good.
I like Grand Crew.
You know what the greatest masterpiece of television?
What?
Southside.
I never watched it.
Oh, masterpiece. I watched Southside. I watched Grand Crew. I just watched the Batman movie. Well, I slept through it.
I liked it.
It was good, but I didn't like how they did the Riddler.
Why not?
Because I read the comics. Killer.
I've been reading. Give us some creative liberties to experiment with
the Riddler is a thief. He's not a murderer. He's not out for some long con or long. The Riddler's basically an elaborate thief. He's like Ocean's 11, coming up with these elaborate scams to get money, and they turned him into a murderous madman.
Have you ever seen Love Jones?
No.
Brown Sugar?
No.
I'm trying to think of other black rom-coms.
I saw Menace to Society.
Boys in the Hood.
That was a rom-com.
Was that a rom-com?
Yeah, Jada Pinkett.
She was not in Menace to Society. You talking about? Was. No, she was not. She was it. Oh she God. Was in there. I forgot.
Thank you. I was about to blow up your
she
spot.
She was in there.
I
forgot about that.
That was a romantic Baby Boy. I saw
that was
Baby
a minor
Boy.
subplot.
You know, I love
the dude and Jada in that movie was a minor subplot.
There's a line in that movie that I quote every day.
What movie? What movie you talking about?
Menace to Society.
What?
Jada Pinkett was trying to tell Tron, whatever the lead character. She was trying to say, let's move to Atlanta.
Yeah, move to Atlanta.
Every time it was some struggle, it was some street shit. She'd always be like, we got to move to Atlanta. Move to Atlanta. Yeah. And close to the end of the movie, he turned to her and said, you act like Atlanta ain't in America. I was like, word is born. I need to tell black people that right now today. They act like Atlanta ain't in America. You think
it's Black Wakanda, brother?
Right.
It's Black Wakanda.
Yeah.
Don't disrespect it, man.
Yeah.
Yeah. If you want to have a hip hop career, if you want to be on a Tyler Perry show, you need to go to Atlanta. There's a lot of black independent movies out there.
That's the thing about
trash.
Black ownership.
But they got a Zaxby's.
I appreciate Tyler Perry for one reason. Tyler Perry showed that black ownership,
yes,
under capitalism is just as shitty, if not worse, than white ownership under capitalism.
What show is that?
What he did to Come Into America too.
I never watched it. I was just
man.
I'm not doing it.
I'm like, give it back to the white boys. Get that movie back to Steven Zemeckis. Whoever the white boy.
I have no desire to watch that bastardization of a classic movie. I don't care. I don't care to watch it.
Boy, but yeah. So can we? So did we do anything to cover Malcolm Nance? You know, this Ukraine conflict.
He's a real nigga.
Let me tell you something about this Ukraine conflict.
Malcolm Nance, real nigga. Number 1, 2.
But
Warrior of America.
Can I tell y'all something? Tinfoil hat conspiratorial.
What's the conspiracy?
I'm gonna break it down.
Break it down.
It's gonna be real quick.
Okay.
United States went to Vietnam, fought for just under a decade, a failed war. It was a failed invasion, failed occupation, guerrilla warfare ran them out.
Yeah. Right
after that, United States goaded and provoked Russia, the USSR at the time, to invade and attack Afghanistan as a retaliation for them aiding the Vietnam. See, the Viet Cong were getting instruction, logistics, and weapons and funding from the USSR.
Got it.
It was a proxy war.
Proxy war, yeah.
And so after that, the United States created a proxy war between Afghanistan and the USSR. And they were sending weapons. There was a whole movie with Tom Hanks.
You saw that?
That talked about that.
Yeah, but not Brown Sugar.
Right? And then, it was a political movie. I watch political movies. I like politics.
So you watched Head of State with Chris Rock. That's a political movie.
It was horrible. But I like Bernie Mac. Shout out to Bernie Mac.
I liked it because of Bernie Mac.
I liked it because of Bernie Mac saved that movie. He should have been the star.
So if Love Jones had some sort of political undertones, you would have watched it.
You know, I was in the poetry scene at the time.
Yeah.
With the Vibe, I wasn't with them, but remember the Vibe Chameleons, Boom Poetic?
Yeah.
I was known as propaganda, the people's self-appointed propagandists. Oh, you should have heard my poetry. It was so toxic. I was Umar.
Do you have any old poems that you could recite on the show?
I'll bring my book.
Bring your book, man.
But it's a lot of misogynistic, black nationalist, homophobic poetry.
Yeah. Alpha male ideology.
In my 20s, yeah. So I was like a militant madman, you know. So anyway, I was Umar before Umar was Umar. Before Umar knew he was an Umar.
You gave him a style to run with.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? He said you made it a hot line. I made it a hot song, brother.
If he's the Prince of Pan-Africanism,
you're the king.
I'm the king.
You're the king. You probably had a school.
So if you want to hear some reactionary, regressive black nationalist poetry, because that's what I wrote. But I promise you, I'll bring it next week and I'll read one. You pick it.
Can you send it to me ahead of time?
No.
Man, I gotta pick the.
I'll
I
bring
gotta
you
pick the best one though.
I bring you a copy of the book.
There you go.
I got all of them. I never sold.
If I get 20 minutes before the show, I'm
it's
gonna
terrible.
go. I'm gonna go through them.
I'm so embarrassed.
Can we light?
Oh yeah,
can we light incense in here?
I'll give you the
Get
poetry.
the mood
You
right.
can read the book.
I would love that.
Okay.
I would love that.
And I had a partner named Conspiracy. I was propaganda. He was.
You were
conspiracy.
propaganda. So you guys like a dynamic duo.
Yeah.
Nice.
I don't talk.
How long did your black nationalist phase last?
To my late 20s.
Mine's lasted about one to 2 years.
No, I was like between 14 to 24. It was bad, man.
It had a grip on you.
I just wanted to bring this. Yeah, I was just angry, and
it has a lot of for the age period that you find it. The propaganda speaks to you.
Yeah. So it was like.
Then you realize how inherently conservative it is.
Yeah, like, reactionary as hell. And I realized that I was attracted to that because of my Judeo-Christian indoctrination.
No doubt.
So and meeting my wife and having kids, I calmed down and matured. So
you watched Bullworth, I Manifesto.
Yeah, it was whack.
I Manifesto. I was gonna ask him the same thing.
Yeah, I saw Bull. It was whack as hell.
Wasn't that with Ghetto Superstar? Wasn't that the song?
I love that song though.
Ghetto Superstar.
The album was horrible, but Maya. I always, I root for the underdog. So in the Fugees, Pras was my favorite Fuji because I root for the underdog. I got love for the underdog.
You might be the only self-admitted Pras fan in the galaxy. I'm not a fan. I don't like the country, more. The galaxy, the universe.
He illegally funded like $1 million to the Obama campaign.
Pras did?
Yeah, he a weirdo. They try to lock his ass up for that.
I just remember when Wyclef Jean ran for president of Haiti. And there's some big corruption scandal.
Yeah, he was
around it.
Yeah,
you were a Pras. Come on, bro. You can't be out here.
Any underdog.
You can't just be out here with the bad underdogs. Yeah. What did Pras do to deserve your support?
Underdog.
He never spit a hot rhyme in his life.
Yeah, but if you listen to the skits. He did the funny, like the interludes on the album. Yeah, they used to have interludes.
He a Pras fan because of the skits.
You're a Haitian. Why you diss me like that for? Like he did the best skits.
Nigga can't rap, dog.
But that's right.
Like, remember Magoo from Timbaland and Magoo? Remember Magoo?
No, and
Pras is on the same level of worst rapper with Magoo. Come on, brother.
No, he was not. No, he came and go
Joshua
listen
Bishop
to
being a Pras fan.
The problem is y'all don't know about Translator Crew. Blunted on Reality. Raise your hand if you heard Blunted on Reality. Did you hear Blunted on Reality?
No, brother.
Do you know the score wasn't the Fugees' first album? Y'all some fair.
What does it have to be with Pras being butt cheeks when it comes to rapping? He inspired you. Pras inspired you.
Look, this is their first album. You see this right here? This is the first Fugees album.
Okay.
Y'all ain't never see. Y'all think y'all like the Fugees. Y'all into commercial music. Y'all into pop music. Go get Blunted on Reality, the Translator Crew, because that was their original name. It wasn't the Fugees. They were Translator Crew.
Black people are fleeing.
And you see the three-headed Bill Clinton baby on there.
What?
Yeah. It's y'all. You don't, man. It's levels. Anyway, where was we? I think we got.
There are levels. Again. There's Pras fans and the rest of us. That's the levels right there.
So, I didn't finish my thing.
What's up?
The United States got into a really bad occupation of a third world country in Vietnam. They provoked Russia to attack Afghanistan after that. Then the United States had another failed imperialist campaign, and they provoked Russia again to fight another proxy war. When the United States has a failed occupation and invasion, they always provoke Russia into a proxy war.
What's the thinking behind that?
The reason they do that is for international standing. The United States lost international standing. Right?
When Trump was elected, we lost international standing.
They lost the war. They don't care about who the president is.
Yeah.
President doesn't, the president is a figurehead, but I ain't gonna get into that. But the United States needs you got soft power and hard power.
No doubt.
So the United States loses a war, that's hard power, and then they lose their credibility internationally. Mm-hmm. So the United States needs a boogeyman and an underdog to get behind as a champion of democracy. So the United States went and overthrew a government, and then people are like, "Oh, you're the champion of democracy." So it's all politics. The United States provoked that war, just like they did when Russia invaded Afghanistan. Oh, I finished it. Damn. And so it's the same thing. They literally, history is repeating itself, and everybody's doing the same thing. When the United States when Russia invaded Afghanistan, Ronald Reagan was like, these are freedom fighters defending democracy. And then after they beat off the Russians, they created one of the most regressive, reactionary governments the world has ever seen. And now the same thing is going to happen when Russia is driven out of Ukraine. Ukraine is going to be a nest of Nazi and regression and repression. And the United States claims they're fighting for democracy and the freedom of the Afghan people,
which we are.
And now they're fighting for it's crazy to me, and nobody's making this connection. It's like I'm a madman in a box all by myself.
Beto is just as big a hater as Diallo.
Oh wow,
it's debatable.
I see the hurt in your eyes.
It's debatable.
Don't cry on camera, man. We
That's
alphas.
not proof.
Remember,
it's debatable, but it's a good piece of evidence. You ever see that video of Dr. Umar saying that? He said, it's not proof. It's still debatable, but it's a good piece of evidence.
I don't watch Umar, man.
It's a no context Dr. Umar Twitter page.
Oh,
it's hilarious.
Send that to me.
I'm a hater, man. I don't hide it.
You know who
I'm
likes
proud
Umar?
of it. I love it. I bathe in it.
I don't consider
I warm
myself
myself
a hater.
with it. Yeah, you might not, but you are one.
I don't consider myself.
You cannot consider yourself black, but you're black, and you're definitely a hater.
No,
you're principled.
No, I'm
but
not
a hater nonetheless.
I'm not a hater ultimately.
Oh, okay.
You know why?
Why? Because you're a prize fan.
It's like when people say, "I don't want black businesses. I don't want to have black millionaires." Right?
Right.
I don't support black capitalism. What do they say about you? You love poverty. You want black people to be poor.
Yeah.
But what's the number
Step
one?
it up.
What's the number one source of poverty and income inequality? Capitalism.
No.
You tell me then. What's the number one source of income inequality and poverty?
I'm kidding. We know it's capitalism.
Right.
Yeah.
So being anti-capitalist means I'm anti, but people don't understand that. So it's the same thing about hateration.
Yeah.
I
don't need no hateration, holleration.
I love African people. I love liberation. I love justice.
Yes.
And how can you love something if you don't hate that which attacks and undermines that which you love?
You're fueled by hate.
Right.
But you're also
no, I'm not fueled by hate. I'm
fueled by the things that kills the things that you love.
Well, I think love and hate are transient emotions. I would say that I try to be rational. So I don't think that I'm a hater because the things and people that I hate are those who harm the things that I love.
Yes. But you're also romantic.
No, I'm not a Roman. I'm an African.
Why have you not watched Love Jones?
Is there a principal reason as to why you not? Number one, that dude, he was old dog. He's old dog to me. I can't watch him
He can't be nothing else.
Nah,
he's old dog.
It was too soon. It came right on the heels, back to back. I'm like, I just saw this dude.
I'm surprised.
You know,
I'm surprised
I feel sorry for your mother. Remember that? And he,
yeah, send him to heaven.
Yeah,
took a dirt.
And I was kind of through with the poetry scene
by that time. What was it? What was the last poem you ever spit?
Hip hop.
That's the one I'm going.
Hip hop has been colonized by those who despised it a decade ago. It was a poem about white people infiltrating hip hop.
Did you ever make any poems about women?
Yes.
Oh yes.
Terrible. Terrible.
We're going there.
It's about women. How men
speak the truth, brother.
How women dress and it's in salacious, wearing salacious clothing, and not respecting a man's right to rule over the household. I don't know.
Has before we get out of here, we got 4 minutes. First of all, check us out every Wednesday, 7 to 9 p.m.
Right.
Q4 Radio. We will have the YouTube stream next week.
And you can people can call in.
Yeah. When we figure that out.
We'll give the call-in number.
Yeah.
So people can
hear your voices. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. And what else are we gonna do?
And talk. Hey. Has Praz ever spit a lyric that impressed you?
I like Ghetto Superstar.
Can you recite it verbatim?
Oh, yeah, he spit something dope.
Tell me.
He said, "Probable cause got flaws like dirty draws. Meet me at the corner store so we can start the street war."
Woo! Lauryn Hill wrote that.
How do you know?
I know he didn't write that.
How you know?
Because he's whack, my nigga. He is whack.
It's on a song called "The Beast." So go
That's
look
an
at
impressive
on
lyric.
the town. The
That was
beast
impressive.
is loose.
The fact that you know a Pras lyric,
Probable
you
cause got
continuously impress
flaws
me.
like dirty draws. Meet me at the corner store so we can start the street
I'm
war.
impressed.
That's my favorite line.
Somebody asked me the other day, name 3 Benzino songs, and I could not. They said,
Shout
name
out to
3
Benzino.
songs or you
Benzino
die.
tried to smother Eminem's career in the womb. He tried it, and he released the racist rap out. And he gave it away for free. If you bought a Source magazine, he put out the racist rap where Eminem said, "Don't date a black girl because a black girl is a whack girl. Black girls are
Never
bitches."
heard it.
You never heard
Did he say it during 8 Mile? If he did not, I did not hear it.
You saw 8 Mile?
Yeah.
I never saw that either.
Nia Long is finer than the mud.
Okay.
Facts. Can we get
everybody has their time.
Dozier. I hope I said that correct. Can we get a word in Diallo? Biddle's even having a tough time.
What does that mean?
I guess she wants to say something.
Yeah.
Because you be flowing, man. You be
sorry.
flowing.
Yeah, I'll try to curb
It's all good. It's our first time back, man.
Yes.
It's been a good time.
We shouldn't have left you,
man. We shouldn't have left you with some dope Pan-African raps to step to. It's been like 6 years.
Yeah.
6 years.
I'm going to play some Pras on the way home.
No, you're not.
No, I'm not.
It's not even on the internet. There's not a Pras song on the internet.
Yeah, play the beast.
Thank you, everybody who listened to us tonight. This is our premiere show.
Wednesday nights.
You could have been doing anything. Moon Knight's on, and you kicked it with us. I appreciate that.
I appreciate y'all too. Just give y'all some smooth.
Thank you.
At Politics X Bullshit or
Politics XBS.
We on Instagram. Coordinate that. We got like 5 different names every site, man.
No, it's consistent. Instagram, Twitter.
It's Politics
XBS.
Let me put it. It's
the at name is Politics XBS. If you put in Politics X Bullshit in the search,
Politics X Bullshit. That's it. You go there across social media, Twitter, all that.
JN.
So we
did our job. Great show. Yeah. Love your lectures, but the dialogue brilliant. Right, that's the magic. You making magic over here. He's like Kareem. I'm magic. Setting them up for the sky hook. What? Kareem.
I don't like Kareem no more.
We doing this list, man.
I had opportunity.
What does Diallo like list?
I got an opportunity to meet Kareem at the Schomburg.
How did that go?
He's a bright guy.
He seems like it. He's tall.
Sell out. Anyway,
says the Pras fan.
Q4.org supports Q4.
No doubt.
So we can keep having independent progressive radio. Q4.org.
Thank you so much.
Politics and BS, politics and bullshit. We will be here, and next time maybe we'll get to the whole list of topics.
Hey man, you never forget your first.
Yeah,
time.
It's just a warm up. All right. Yeah. I wanted to talk about Alex Jones.
We talked about somebody more important.
Who?
Malcolm Nance.
Malcolm Nance. Yeah, he's fighting for us. I'm gonna go home and sleep so secure knowing Malcolm Nance
is out there. Is he working in the mess hall?
Man,
is he making plates?
He's a mascot over there playing spades, teaching the Nazis how to play spades.
Hey.
Anyway.
First rule, don't renege.
All right. That was. Okay, let me. All right. Peace. Let's see y'all. Check out the Mix Show Monday, Brody Hollow broadcast on Q4, 8 a.m. Or is it 8 a.m.? I think it's 8 a.m. or 7 a.m. to 9 a.m. on Mondays. And the Politics and BS show every Wednesday night, 7 to 9. Hey, yeah. All right, y'all. Be safe.